Let's go.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Rampancy.net. I am Narcogen.
I'm Leah Crow.
And I'm Jail.
And
And
this is Mochi.
oh, hey. Hello, Mochi.
Hi, Moochie.
Blackstar may be in and out. He's having a combination of stuff to do in real life and technical problems with the camera. So he had to step out. He may come back. He may have to leave. We don't know. We'll see. But we're back here with more Cats into Marathon, according to the title.
Oh.
And maybe before we jump into Pathways into Darkness, I'll do a little recap of some game, because actually, like, the game industry is generally like in a pit of garbage right now. Like everything is bad.
Oh.
Layoffs, well, consolidation, the whole idea. But in the past month, there's also been like a lot of Bungie specific news or Bungie community specific news. So I thought I'd just grab some of this. This was the first bit. This came out a while ago. This is the latest version of Myth 2 that's maintained by a community called Project Magma. And they've given basically like a high def texture update to the whole game, as well as a reworked out, like there used to be a plugin that would make Myth 2 play more like Myth 1 for people who were purists and liked a certain part of that. But this is actually kind of the reverse, where they've made it so that Myth 1's campaign plays a little more like Myth 2 with some things you can opt out of.
Oh.
And so there's textures to replay and units. And it used to be that like I think you could get high def maps really easily, but then the old sprites were still part of the game, and so there was kind of this disconnect between the looks of those. And this basically updates like everything that's used in the two main campaigns plus a bunch of fan made campaigns.
I need to give this a shot. I never heard
so
of this.
if you're interested in any myth stuff at all, by all means, go to Project Magma and pick up the Twice Born edition, which is this new high-res version of Myth 2, and Chimera. And then the Deluxe edition, which is basically a reworking of the Myth 1 campaign in the Myth 2 engine. Now, of course, the other thing is the extraction shooter version of Marathon, which is the new thing that Bungie is doing that's being published by Sony. Their closed alpha is currently running.
Why does that make me think that it explains the colors?
Yes. And Just for Ember is in the chat. Hi, Just for Ember.
Hey, Just remember.
And also Vort and Zale were in earlier. Hello, everybody. So I gotta admit, the art style is very interesting. The gameplay format, the extraction shooter thing, is pretty much not my thing. I'm not a PvPer. But I was still curious enough that like after the ARG promoting this thing ended and it was revealed that, hey, join this Discord channel and you can get a code to join the alpha, I went ahead and did that and applied. And I have not gotten a code. It was, I think, scheduled to end this weekend. But they just announced that they're going to extend it by 2 days. So they're going to let it go, I think, until Tuesday evening now. Although the news page that supposedly says that has got a CSS error on it. So I can't really tell if that's true or not. I don't know. We'll see. And then in non-Bungie news, like out of nowhere, Bethesda came out and said, oh yeah, by the way, we've remastered Oblivion, which was the fourth Elder Scroll game. Which is kind of not my favorite because I like Morrowind and Skyrim better than Oblivion.
Yeah.
But I kind of got flashbacks to Halo Anniversary when they announced this, because they did a video basically like, well, we like to look forward, not back. We don't like to do remakes. And there was this whole side thing about like, well, we ended up releasing Skyrim a bunch of times because we were working on the new version of the engine for Fallout 4 and we needed assets to plug into the engine, and Skyrim was just there. And so then we had a shiny new updated version of Skyrim. So why not release it and let people give us money for it? So just why they've never remastered any of their other games, but they've reissued Skyrim like half a dozen times. Now, of course, they're owned by Microsoft, which means they're not going to be averse to this thing. But then they started talking about like, well, we want it to look fresh and new, but we also want it to be true to its origins. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to pull a Halo anniversary, which is exactly what they did. They have put a new graphical engine on top of the original engine. So this is still the old version of whatever engine was running Oblivion with Unreal Engine 5 on top of it.
Oh, geez.
Which apparently includes its massive traversal stutter issues. And I'm not even sure whether those stutter issues are being caused by the underlying tech or by Unreal Engine, given that Unreal Engine is known for stutter. I have no idea.
Now, forgive my ignorance here, but is this a game that has multiplayer capabilities in it?
It does not.
No, this is a single player, traditional Western RPG of the generation where it was becoming popular on consoles. Like Morrowind was one of the first big hits for RPG games on consoles.
Okay, because my question was going to be if that enabled like people with the older version to play with the newer one, but then that's
no, yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not a thing. The multiplayer Elder Scrolls is just Elder Scrolls Online, which does not use any of the tech of this company's series of games at all. It just takes assets reworked and puts it into an engine that runs an MMO. It is basically just an MMO. Like if you play it you can tell instantly. Like we when it came out years ago, we played it for a couple of episodes and it felt nothing like an Elder Scrolls game at all. Yeah. It was very obvious from all the motion and the action and the way the gameplay was that, oh hey, there's Blackstar. Get rid of that for a second. Oh, wait. I gotta there you go. Blackstar. Oh, okay, we can see you now, but we can't hear you. Do you want me to unmute you and mumble?
Friends try to get me into
there we go. How's that?
It never works.
All right. Here we go.
I'm not really here. I have no idea what's going on with this thing. The camera may kick out at some point again. If it does, I may just go audio only. I have no idea what's going on.
That's cool. That's cool.
I gave up on the firmware update.
Okay. Vort says, Oblivion Remastered is good. It's a gorgeous game with all the jank of 2006. I can see why people like the combination, and I gotta admit, the more I watched people play it, the more I was tempted by it, although it does cost $50 for a game that was made almost 20 years ago with...
You played the original, though, right? I could have sworn we've done some Oblivion.
Yeah. No, actually, I don't think we've ever done any Oblivion on channel. We did some Morrowind.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, not on the channel, but I could have sworn I've seen you play.
Maybe... I don't know.
I remember a lot of sword slashing and stuff.
that could either have been Morrowind or Skyrim. I don't know.
That could have been anything.
Yes, it could have been anything. But it's as I was mentioning, they kind of did the Halo anniversary thing where they left the old game engine underneath and then they slapped Unreal on top of it. The Saber Interactive didn't use Unreal; they used something else. But like I think if they were doing it today, they probably would use Unreal 5.
Yeah, who wants to use the Tiger engine?
So it's got all the old jank that the original game has, plus the performance challenges of Unreal 5. So now you need a very beefy computer to run a 20-year-old game.
Pathetic, isn't it? It's funny. I was just talking to John Cimino about this the other day. It's like, wow, optimization for games peaked in 2013 and has not returned.
Yeah, they did tweak some stuff, like the leveling mechanism in that game and the level scaling for enemies and loot was a little messed up, and so they fixed that and some other stuff, but it's still basically the same game. And my biggest issue was this, which is here, I'll pop up this thing. There was a major fan effort up basically to make remakes of these games basically by porting older content to the new engines. And there are a bunch of different versions of that. There's people who want to take the content of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind and port it to the engine that runs Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and that's called Morroblivion. Then there's a group of people who want to port the content of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind to Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, and that's called Skywind. And then there's this one, which is the biggest one, which has been going on the longest and is actually supposed to finish and release this year, which is bringing the content of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion to the engine of Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, which is called Skyblivion.
And then apparently there are Macintosh fans who are alcoholics who are called Appletinis. I think we had just for Amber, she wanted to say hi to everyone. It's great to see you.
We said hi to Amber.
Hi, Amber. Well, see, I'm just getting the scrolling chat now because when I find out it's going through the thing. And Vort's in the chat, I think. Hi, Vort.
Yep. Yes, Vort's there. Yes. So ironically, the game that was closest to having its fan project finish and actually release, that was the one they chose to preempt by remastering that one. Now that there were good reasons for doing that. Morrowind is older. It's more different than the other games. If you changed more, you'd piss off more people. And if you changed less, people would be like, I kind of bounce off this. Like, as it is, I never finished it because I got lost. I keep meaning to go back and finish it.
Did they try to turn it into an extraction shooter?
No.
They're ahead of the game.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Although this
I missed it. I was doing groceries.
Yeah.
This might be a dig. If you get the deluxe edition, it comes with... You want to give this one, Narc?
It comes with the soundtrack, doesn't it?
Soundtrack comes with Blu-ray.
It comes with a unique armored horse.
Oh yes, that's a joke. I mean, they're doing the joke because, of course, this was the game where it's like the DLC. The first thing you could pay money for was a custom horse armor.
It doesn't come with a cheesy bag that looks nothing like what they originally advertised.
That was later. That was later. And the thing I remember about this actually was people I think Penny Arcade did a strip about it, was that this is a fully single player game. And they said, we really don't understand this. Like this is a game that seems made to show off your loot and your custom, your character customization. But it's a single player. It's a single player game and you can't. And of course, there wasn't, again, this was out in 2007 or something. So like even YouTube YouTube as a thing for showing off all your in-game stuff barely, didn't really exist at this point.
Here's something for the Zoomers. This game is as old as the original iPhone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's their metric. Life did not begin until the birth of the
older
iPhone.
than that. It's 2006. That's older.
Okay, I was right. 2006. See, I knew it was right around. So that actually was Blueberry era. Oh my God. So
I miss when phones were small.
Still love my Motorola F3.
certainly
Still the best cell phone I ever had. Well, anyway, okay. Cat's in the marathon. Someone going to explain that one to me?
Oh, because
or is it just because
my other
Leah's
complaint about Marathon was that the content that unlocked at the end of this ARG of a bunch of people participating, and the ARG already I viewed it as kind of cynical because it involved getting people to stream and watch streams in the Marathon category. So now the Marathon Twitch category is full of people who are streaming other games or the new Marathon and not the original games. But they showed a little clip video that showed like a synthetic cat crawling up to a player who'd just been downed that curls up in your lap.
I saw that, and everyone's like, "Oh, where are the manimals or something?"
Yes, and there is apparently some lore to the effect that this is like your pet. It's like the brain of your pet translated into a synthetic body, similar to the way the player characters in Marathon are like automata that have personalities in them that are loaded there from servers. So the personality is a persistent thing, but the bodies are disposable, including all the loot you get on the bodies, so you can lose it. I wouldn't want to clone some of my pets because some of mine were jerks. Yeah. So, but I looked at that and I'm like, not only can you not pet the cat in the game, but I bet the cat is not even in that game. And I've watched plenty of the alpha. I haven't seen any cats. No cats.
Well, how do you know it's not a digital? How do you know it's not a digital hallucination, that it's not really there? You just think it is, there's this.
Sure, you could be programmed to think the cat's there.
Exactly. It could be a program like John Wick.
I think because the player was dead. So it wasn't like the player was being tricked into thinking. I mean, I guess what they're saying, it's like,
could have been
hallucinating. It's like the Black Rabbit of Inlay, right? Like when you die, you see an orange cat come for you or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Hazel.
But I'm like, they just did that because cat videos do numbers on the internet, and that's literally it. I'm sure now that that's what that is.
Marketing all along. Marketing. Zale Manic says, "Yeah, I miss my BlackBerry Curves so much."
Fair.
Well, the iPhone 17 is going to be thinner, so yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. I swear they're gauging its depth with its battery performance. Never did this decide to just pick a form factor and then say, hey, let's get a bigger, better battery every single time to increase the amount. No, we have a specific curve we're going to hold to, so that gives us the excuse to make it 5 millimeters thinner just so we can say that. I remember actually when they were talking laptops and whatnot over the years when they were coming out with the whole new line of stuff and the Airs and all the other stuff, and all they were doing during all the demos was showing how much thinner it was compared to Sony
Oh yeah.
and
And they
HP.
get so
and the other
thin to
ones.
the point where like
It's like,
now this thing that I have in front of me is so thin
right.
that it makes it hard to plug the things into the
Oh,
side.
it,
'Cause the
impossible.
plugs are bigger
And
than
of course it was all curvy. So every time you tried to plug the thing in and whatnot, you'd miss it. And you just kind of like gouge the side of the thing. Thinness never related to performance, increased battery life, higher resolution, or in any way, shape, or form, a meaningless factor for using technology. So until it becomes that, it's beyond superfluous. You can have something really, really
anti-feature.
Yeah,
It
please.
makes the thing hotter.
It was the
and-
one thing marketing could latch onto and actually be honest about. It's like, hey, we're 1/8 of a millimeter thinner than this one. We must be better. I kept
Dale
face
says, remember
palming
when
every time
phone
I
had
saw
a
it.
button? Yes. The last phone I have
Yes.
before my current phone had a button. I like the iPhone SE and the iPhone 7 that still had buttons. I don't like the face detection. I like the fingerprint on the button.
Mine has
Anyway.
buttons. Well, my fingerprint's on the button.
Anyway, okay, so I think our latest problem, which I alluded to in the thing I posted, the thing I was supposed to post that we were
cats.
playing this game, which I actually didn't. Hold on, let me do that. Was no, it wasn't the cats, it was the Nazis. It was like I think I'm worried that maybe we were running out of Nazis, which
gonna
is
be
not a problem
Nazis.
we have here in real life. I mean, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I wouldn't want a Nazi cat, but I mean, I don't want to discriminate either. It's their choice.
If only you needed a yellow crystal.
Yeah, exactly. Where is that yellow crystal? We need the yellow crystal.
Sure, that's just
Okay.
not frozen pea.
No, I think we're not sure. We're not sure.
You
it's
know?
that.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Okay.
Yellow crystal we got and is ready.
Okay, I actually, the question I had, Jail, is that so the other soldiers that we're coming across are Americans, right? Are they
some-
At this point,
At this point,
Yes.
yes.
are they the soldiers that came with the protagonist, or is
they
this
are.
They
earlier? Okay,
they are. One of them specifically recognized us.
okay, so they shouldn't be really doing Elvis for them, and it's kind of an anachronism.
Yeah, I think the Nazi trail ended when we came across that room that
that they were all talking about what was behind the door, and some of them
Mhm.
lied and said there's nothing there, and we killed all the monsters. We were like, we bet they didn't, and they didn't.
Yeah. So these are 90s American soldiers.
Okay.
Did I miss an episode? When did Elvis come into the gameplay?
I needed a voice to do for the American soldiers instead of the over the top.
Oh, is that the one you
Uh,
did?
Yeah. Well, I
Excuse me.
just tried to give him a different accent, and then I said to myself that it came out being a little bit Johnny Bravo, and then I realized that Johnny Bravo's just Elvis anyway. So I just did Elvis.
Fantastic.
Like
I don't know.
much.
I don't know if we should do something else. I'm
Always
open to
like me,
suggestions.
Clarence.
Somebody wants
have.
a suggestion, and I can do it.
Always
We'll try something else.
We can always do
Um,
Brad Pitt. Don't that picture look dusty?
Ooh, Stellan Skarsgård.
I don't think I can do. That's tough.
I know. I didn't want to
That's-
make it easy for you.
That's like talking.
How
like
about-
that's like talking like a ghoul, for God's sake.
How about John
Um,
Crichton? Wile E. Coyote could come up with a better plan.
Okay. So anyway, Jill, let's press on.
Right.
Go
Okay,
back to
so-
London. Hey, you could always try your British one. He's not Judge Judy and Executioner.
Oh, I've also noticed that like one of the AIs in the new marathon also has a British accent, which makes me wonder like who is it in there that has this thing? Because they almost made Cortana British. They tried to have her do a British accent, and a
I
tiny bit
remember
of that
that.
take ended up in the game, which is why she tells 343 to sod off.
Yes. Oh, well,
Which is
I think they
bizarre.
picked that Because it's a swear that over here doesn't mean anything. Because over here, British swears sound
Yeah,
like middle
I don't-
schoolers arguing on the playground. When people say bloody over there, it means something. Over here, that's you describing a steak dinner.
Yeah,
Nobody
I'm not-
cares.
I'm not
So-
sure. I think we may be ascribing too much intentionality to that. I kind of think it was
Maybe,
just like
but
those are the takes they had for those lines, and
It could
that's
be.
what got
It could be a leftover, but also I just think from a swear standpoint, I mean, what other expletive could you have used that would have passed the censors for the mark they were going for?
I don't know.
I can't think of
They
one.
were pretty devoted to
That's a-
PG-13. I think I don't know that they would have felt it necessary to use any expletive.
I think, well, no, I mean, just in that she sprays, she says sawed off. Okay, what would you replace that with an American phrase for that line? Because we've talked about this before. I remember we had. What can you think of? You can't say fuck off. You can't say piss off.
Why does that
What
make
else
a
would you
noise
say?
like metal when you knife it, Jail?
I don't know, but better not.
No, I think that was my
Oof.
phone chiming.
They're
The
everywhere.
Uzi.
Yeah, you really got to put the bullets into those oozes.
Ooh, all right. Here's a voice. Here's a
Well,
voice.
you said they were bullet sponges. Bullet sponges usually mean
Yes, exactly.
run away.
Here's one, Narc. Try Christopher
Oh,
Lambert.
is it?
Always
I
run.
was thinking bullet sponge.
Okay, so this area is pretty much clear of those creeps that I need the night vision goggles off for a bit. So, yes.
Yeah, Zale's got it. He said just buzz off.
I see. That's again sounds even weaker than sawed off.
True.
They
True.
need something that has some impact. Now, if she said it like more laissez-faire, oh, buzz off.
I was-
That might have been better. But she was hotly intent at that moment. Do you know what
You'd
I mean?
always say get bent, but that
Yeah.
seems silly when you're talking to a ball. Like,
No,
how does that
no.
work?
The equivalent would be piss off.
yeah,
But again, you couldn't get away with that for.
I think
for
you
a video
can.
game
You
for
can
this.
get you can get away
Nah,
with piss off. in
Not the market they were
PG-13.
going for. They
I
were,
think
you forget.
can.
You forget Halo. They were selling to a lot of little kids. I mean, come on, look
How
at
about-
Mig's kid. You think Mig's
how about
would let his
bugger
kid
off?
listen to that at that age?
Yeah, I think you can
I-
actually.
I'd be surprised. I would look down on him as a parent. Oh man.
Ow, ow.
Okay, I don't think I heard the call. Okay, now I can.
Are you hearing the game, Alexa?
I am now. See, all my settings for this and everything went nuck and futz. I've got to. Every time I try to do something, I'm trying to save it, but every time I bring it back in vMix, those saves are not registering.
Oh.
So I literally have to go through each one of these things. So,
Sales
yeah, I had to
pointing out
manually
that the
turn
original
on all
Halo
of them.
was rated M anyway, so like they could have done anything they wanted.
Oh, well,
I
then
think-
in
I
that
think
case,
he's
they have
right.
no excuse. My
Yeah.
defense of them is over.
Maybe that's just they needed to get the M rating so they could reference sodomy in the game. That's why they had that. Why that line is there.
Not funny.
Amber says, yeah, just give them a few years, like the sandworms of No Man's Sky. Let's see. Oh man, Zale's blowing up. Okay, Zale, I want a physical QWERTY keyboards back.
Yeah, actually, I do. I do too. My iPhone.
Leah's an
correction
advocate.
Really
Hmm.
bugs me.
Leah's an
I'm not
advocate
advocate
of
for
keyboards.
buttons, but thing is, I don't use QWERTY, so
Well, no, but you are a keyboard connoisseur like Narc, like Funk, like many others. I tried. I couldn't get into it. I honestly made an effort. In fact, I got my other one over here. I blew
Some type
140
7
bucks
over
on.
here.
You can have. Turns out the advertiser they were using for my keyboard apparently likes underage
Wow, this is
girls.
yellowed.
So he got dumped.
Goodness,
Darker than a Sarlacc's belly down here.
goodness.
Now, is
So
this
are
the
these
night vision?
keys?
Is this the
Yeah,
this
that's
red
the
night
infrared
vision thingy?
goggles.
Do they help?
Oh, yeah, it helps you see the enemies when they come swarming me.
Oh, so at least you
Yeah, they're-
can see who's going to kill you.
But the
Yes.
problem is it makes the phantoms invisible. So, because that's what killed me last time was one came up to me and I didn't even see it coming, and I can't wear them if I need to fight them. Let's see. And what's the thing to fight them? Is it yellow, blue?
Blue. They should make sure I have the blue ready, I guess.
Blue equipped, primed and ready.
Wow, Zale must have really strict parents, not being able to get a game machine because or get an Xbox
Because it was rated M?
Classic, because Halo was the only game I wanted and it was rated M.
I wonder if you should be using the pistol for those guys, since they only take a bullet or two.
Narc, when we were buying physical video games in actual stores, which are usually the Psygnosis ones.
Yeah. I think that was all
Did
before there was
ratings.
any ratings, because the
Right.
ratings all came into it later because of, you know.
But yeah, but I
stuff.
remember getting the Commodore Aliens game back in '86, right?
Yep.
And that was the first R-rated movie you and I saw with Jason
Right.
saw in the theaters,
But
right?
But the resolutions
we were
were
underage
so
at the
low, and
right.
like
But Mom didn't look at the Aliens cover and said, "No, you can't have that for the Commodore because that might have." Do you know what I mean? So
well, we were allowed to watch the movie too. I mean, like,
right, but there was never an Atari 2600 game we couldn't get. There was never.
well, there was. I mean, there was
an Amiga
Custer's
game we
Last
couldn't
Stand. There were games
No.
we shouldn't get.
I don't think we had any interest in that one because it looks stupid. But other than that, I'm just trying to think of an equivalent. I mean, was there a board game we weren't allowed to get because of some reason?
Are we out of the regular clips for that?
I think the only mature thing we had back in the day would be like Trivial Pursuit.
That's okay, though.
I don't know. I don't think.
I just can't imagine mommy and daddy saying, no, you can't have that because it's rated M for mature. I don't think that would translate for them.
I got
No,
M-rated
I mean, there
games that
there were
when I was
supposed
12.
there was supposed restriction on movies and TV.
Right.
Because
Well,
I
TV
remember
for our age were edited to hell anyway. Everything was edited for television for time and content.
But you remember, like, when The Exorcist came on TV that time, there was a debate
Oh, yeah.
about whether or not we should be allowed to watch it, where I was pushing
Which
to watch
we-
it and then, like, left in the
which we
first 20
should have
minutes,
not.
you know?
We should have not. Well, no, we lasted longer than that. We lasted.
Till
man.
the scene where her head turns around. That's when I pieced
Was
out.
it? Is that when
Yeah.
you pieced out?
I think,
Did I
and
piece
I
out
think you
before
stayed
you or
longer.
after?
I think I
Your mo-
pieced out before you.
Yeah, I
Your
think that's
mother-
right.
your-
I think I lasted longer.
Yeah, don't say the line,
and-
Dale. We don't
Oh.
need to say the line. And of course, on TV, that line was not
What's,
in that cut.
well, I
I
was gonna
forget what
say,
they
you know,
said instead.
They said,
It-
"Do
it
you
was
know what
your-
she
your-
did?" And that was it.
Oh, okay.
your mother sews socks that smell.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Brush your
that's good.
teeth. Yeah, no, we didn't have any equivalency for that. I think they just either cut it out or just trim that scene. To be honest, actually,
All right.
Okay, Monty,
The
I'll take door number
head-turning-
one.
the head turning
Okay.
did not get me. What got me was
Oh my.
Oh, that looks like more than
wow.
that
That's like
door
yeah,
is bad
You
news.
might need.
seriously, yeah, that is like a busload. No, the scene that got me was when the dresser started coming towards her when she fell in the books.
Yeah.
That
No,
really got me.
yeah. The furniture
door
leaping
slamming
around the
by
room.
its-
That was creepy.
The door slamming by itself with the chair pushing up against it, that really, really got me.
Yeah. No,
The head
I got
didn't
it.
get me very much, to tell you the truth. I really didn't like, what? All I looked at that and like,
Uh-oh.
heads can't turn around that much. She'd
Are
be
we
dead.
actually out of bullet jail?
Yes.
How is that possible? You have how many clips?
No, we didn't
Yeah.
get in clips.
We haven't switched players in a while, so.
Oh goodness, we're in trouble.
Yeah, Leah, tell us when you're up. I think I'm stepping back.
Right.
Given
Yeah,
the run I was
step
having.
back for a bit.
Oh, Narc's
Okay.
already
Right.
piecing out.
Oh, I did before, like, even before.
Oh man.
I just could not
No.
dodge anything to save my life.
See, they didn't have the
Hopefully
spider
I'll be-
scene in the TV version. That probably would have gotten me.
Spider scene?
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, yeah,
when
don't
it
you
was
remember the
re-released
spider
to
walk?
theaters.
The spider walk was
yes.
pulled from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
theatrical
Okay.
original.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
they
know.
put that on the TV version
Wait,
as a
what is-
filler.
Oh,
Could you not see them because you didn't have the goggles on there, or what?
I just know I'm getting close to the part where the Phantom comes in.
He's
Oh,
ordering
okay.
me 4K UHDs.
that Phantom's gonna like one-shot you at this point.
Zale says his parents were kind of strict. He was 7 at the time. Yeah, how old was
Oh no.
Miguel's kid when he was playing.
By the
I
way,
mean, he was like knee bouncing age.
did we talk about why an American soldier is measuring his load in kilograms? Did they do that?
Ah, no.
Oh, you mean for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just seems remarkably progressive.
Writers from
right
Europe?
in the
I don't
face.
know. Actually, you know what's funny? It's funny you mention that because I actually screwed up a history project, and I thought I was being quite imaginative. Actually, I had a history project in college where instead of just writing a straight up paper like everybody else was doing, I actually made a physical copy of a book, handwritten and weathered, to look like a U-boat captain's logbook. And I got points off for screwing up the date, because in Europe the dates go year, month, day, and I did it in the US version. And I was kicking myself in the ass because that was just such a simple thing to do, and I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't have any fuel measurements or anything else in metric, but I'm like, I so wish that I had thought of that at the time, and I didn't. So imagine how much better that would have been. But that was actually really cool. I actually, burned the edges and waterlogged it and weathered it in the oven and did all kinds of cool stuff. And I wrote it with a calligraphy pen. I think I got a pretty good grade on it. But yeah, I got points off for the. And I thought he was nitpicking at the time. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" But he was absolutely right, and I felt really, really bummed I didn't think of it. I was more upset with myself than anything. Excuse me. Okay, Shane Bishop. Yeah, the flood makes sure that it was rated M. Oh well, yeah. I mean, anything dealing with zombies or corpses or anything like that, you just know it's going to be rated M. Not sure what you said. The marathon revealed to you, but are you playing the new marathon?
Not right now.
I can't
is
say
the Marathon Alpha in the room with you now.
I can't say we won't ever.
It's right behind you.
But I will say
Lion.
we have
Hello, Lion.
zero ambition to. And it's
I would
funny.
say fairly little. Like if I had gotten a code, I would have taken a look at it, but we haven't
I
gotten
know,
a code.
but
I guess
might
they'll
do a
have a
one-off.
public beta. We'll dip into it. Like, I mean, like
well, that's
it would
just
be
it.
silly, even if all we were saying was, "Well, I'm sure that's fine, but it's
Right.
not for us." We would at least
Right.
take a look.
Yeah.
We
I
basically
expect
boiled
nothing
it.
I own can run it.
Yeah.
so.
Well, it's funny because I mean they're using the Tiger engine, so it's going to be able to run on a potato. And everyone's complained that the graphics fidelity is so low that it's not going to tax anything.
Because the thing is 2 maps and it's only 6 gigs.
Yeah,
Like by
well,
today's
technically
gaming
3.
standards, that's tiny.
Yeah. Oh, infinitesimally. Not to mention the fact that you can get through everything it has to offer in about 40 minutes.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Is it crystal time? It's crystal time,
Yep.
I think.
There we go. We crystalled it.
Okay, that was a little anticlimactic. I was expecting, worlds colliding.
Oh, it nearly killed him.
I know, but it looked like a light switch turning on and off. So yeah, I won't say we won't ever do it, but right now neither of us has any serious ambition to, simply because of what it is. We basically boiled it down to this. It is a gaming solution for a problem we don't have.
Yeah.
That's about as diplomatic as I can make it. Because again,
Yeah,
I don't want to be negative Nancy.
Because a problem we never had was, what if you could lose your guns in Destiny? Like none of us ever thought, like, hey, wouldn't it be neat
All the
if you
time.
could get Gallarhorn, this amazing exotic rocket launcher, and then if you died,
I deleted
you would
mine.
lose it.
Yeah, well, I didn't lose it. I deleted it because I thought it was gaudy.
Oh wow, that's 3 hits.
In fact, I didn't get another one back until Zur was selling it. You know that?
Oh, you earned yours?
I got a drop. I got a random
for
drop
God's
on the
sakes.
moon patrolling with you one time.
Oh.
And then
So now there's 2 banshees in here.
I swear I nuked it very shortly thereafter because I had no idea what it was. I had other rocket launchers and I thought it was gaudy as all hell. I couldn't skin it. I couldn't change the colors. It was this giant gold thing.
Come on and hit me. Come on.
They're trying to get killed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hitting him. Is he delayed? here? What is
No,
going
I'm
on?
not delayed. I wanted to die. I just fired in the air, and I apparently killed them all. So I'm just running. It's like,
Okay.
here I am. Come and get me.
Also,
I'm
you're not drawing things on the ground, are you? Because I swear there looked like there was something obscene that was written on the floor there.
No, that's the save runes.
That
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
No,
which
it was
were-
pink. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
From a
that's
certain angle, that looked like something.
That's a save rune.
Well, you wouldn't want to show the public.
Although we're not using those, right? Because we're still using the cheat, aren't we?
Not yet. Well, that has to be reset every time you're in the game, right?
Yeah, every time you load,
Okay,
you have
so
to, re-enter it.
let's see. What's
You may
that code
want to.
again?
You would have to ask me.
Oh, Amber wins the
Yeah.
internet. She goes, so who's the U-boat commander? Oh, great reference. I love that. That's awesome. That's one of my favorite lines from that movie. It really, really is. And I am so disappointed that more people don't quote that in other films because there's so many opportunities for them to, and they don't. It's like Risky Business is suddenly a forgotten film era. And yet every now and then I catch a YouTube reactor picking it up. So you won the internet today. Thanks, Amber. You made my evening.
That was from Ruthless People.
Risky Business.
Oh, okay.
Oh, have you not seen Risky Business?
No, but I recently got the 4K of it.
Please watch it, and you will get that reference.
Yeah. Hold down Control and type anywhere. Lets you save anywhere.
Wonderful cheat.
You ask yourself why runes are really so important. Anyways, I love that message. Let's see. I'm
Okay.
just
See,
gonna
Lionel's gonna be. It says
hide
evening all.
here.
Hi, Lionel. Yep, long time no see.
Oh yeah,
says.
and that was reminding me because like Bungie has an interesting history of like the changes in the way game saving is handled, and specifically about whether or not they bother to integrate that into the world, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, I always wondered if it was team related, lead related, or somehow just staff related, where
Yeah,
whoever feels a certain way at a certain time just decides to change it, or they actually debate about this as far as the gameplay and replay options. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. So this game has explicit save points, although there is the cheat that lets you save anywhere you want, so that you can save scum if you feel.
Okay.
Zale says, but is this what it's like when worlds collide, Black
There's
Star?
so little feedback when you do the crystal too. Like if you don't know,
I just said that.
Yeah.
It's like a light
Anyway,
switch. That's very anticlimactic. There's not
yeah.
even an audio cue.
yeah.
least
So
that I can-
There is.
so this
It's
one
just
you can,
quiet.
You hear the
s-
beast crackle.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're only supposed to save on the runes, and the runes are an object in the world that the characters notice and make note of, right? When you walk into the room, there's a little message that says you see the strange rune. And you move forward into Marathon, and again, it's something similar, right? There are pattern buffers. They are objects in the world. You recognize them by the way they look. You can only save there. And there's even some, I forget where it displays, but description of like what's actually going on, that it's kind of like a Star Trek teleporter, and that it's saving your pattern and buffering it. And so that's how you come back.
Right.
Although,
and then it actually works like that in the multiplayer and in the Pippin versions.
yes, but not in the main game. It doesn't, right? In the main game, it works like a traditional game save. It saves the state of the world, not you. Whereas, say, BioShock actually uses that as a save mechanic. When you revive at one of those machines in BioShock, the world has stayed the same state, and you've come back, which is why you can use it to just win battles by attrition by throwing yourself at a big daddy and letting it kill you and just revive. And there's no consequences for playing that way at all. And then you come up
Well,
to
I'm sure you
Halo.
can do that with the Lewis script these days.
Yes. And then you come up to Halo, and it's a totally different thing, right? And part of that is, I guess, driven by the fact that it's a console, although there are console games that have save points and manual saving and save scumming, and they just went with checkpoints. And so it's totally transparent. Like, there's no mention of it. Saving is not a thing that happens in the game in Halo, and its usage is not called out except by the text message that says checkpoint, which is a game message, not an in-world thing, right? When this character here says you see a strange rune, that's happening in the game. And then you go forward to Destiny, right? And it's even more complicated, right? Kind of like a battle roid, you're a resurrected dead person who's become a superhero, and resurrection is a huge part of the world. It's the way you interact with this character, your ghost, who does this for you, and it can only be done in certain times in certain locations. So most of the time, like, you can never be killed, except sometimes you can be killed. And the distinctions between all of them are arbitrary and whatever is served by the plot at the time.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say Karma Sutra hero. Viking Billy Boy's in the chat. He says, "Oh my God, I'm interacting with Nargis and Blackstar live." Yeah, we don't interact
Yay!
well when we're dead.
What about Leah and myself?
Funk says, "Wow, this looks better than I remember." He goes, "Yeah, it's the 4K upscaled edition."
That's because you see the game logic is running on the old game, but these graphics are being produced by Unreal Engine 5, so that's why they look so good.
Not to mention we're boosting it up over on the
There's
transmission.
only a little bit of stutter.
I wish I could boost the text size. My eyes are going.
And then, of
Linus
course-
says, "Yeah, did you see the companion series of both Pathways Marathon and the 2 System Shock games?" System Shock, we did some.
I
Such a
don't know if I
long
watched them all. I
hallway.
have taken a look at some of them. They're on my
Yeah.
they're in my backlog of videos, which next to my backlog of games to play is just ginormous.
Viking says, "Yeah, the checkpoint system is actually the worst thing about Halo." I was like, "Really? Did you find it that jarring?"
I don't think I did.
We only found it frustrating when there was to be an insta death. They always had a problem, and they had to update it later to fix the
I
insta death
found-
respawn problem.
For games of that era, I found the checkpoint system in Gears of War to be the one that was infuriating. Specifically because one thing that I think almost never happens in Halo, right, is that player death never causes you to replay a cutscene. You can choose to manually restart the level if you want, but dying doesn't replay an interactive sequence. I'm pretty sure that Halo 3 Cortana moments, I think, trigger a checkpoint afterwards. So no matter how soon you die after you've seen one, dying doesn't cause you to relive the Cortana moment, because people would throw their controllers at the wall. But there's
everybody
this-
would. Any cutscene where you have to rewatch constantly. In fact, Destiny had that problem on several occasions where you would have a death and then suddenly you had to watch this whole sequence again.
But I remember one thing
right.
in Gears of War 1 where you're trying to bring the light mass bomb into the catacombs underneath the world where where the locusts are, and it's the first time you encounter one specific enemy type that's kind of tough and are more likely to kill you. And there's this dialogue sequence just before that where one of the characters is looking at this huge pool of this lambent fluid that's underground, and he says, "Hey, look at all of that juice." And I died so many times to those enemies, and I think that I just had to hear that one character deliver that one line in that sequence over and over and over. And
They should have updated it to say, "This juice is not a natural formation. It must lead somewhere."
Okay, so we are
wait,
about to...
hold on. Viking's got a bunch
One
of stuff over here real quick. Viking says, "Yeah, you guys actually read one of my Infinity walkthroughs back, didn't you? The thing,
so.
what kicks map. You remember that one?"
Yeah.
Good walkthrough. Yeah, because we've definitely needed those on occasion when we had to do some stuff, because we want to keep these things going. We're not showcasing our gaming prowess whatsoever. We want to keep the show lively and as least repetitive as possible.
And Infinity's complicated, so.
Oh boy, is it? That's why it's called Infinity. Funk's in the chat. I don't know if you noticed, Funk is chiming up. I'm wondering if he's on the ground or in the air.
Oh,
I will laugh so hard if he's actually in flight right now. Funk says he likes the check system in Halo, and he felt like they, occurred at good times. They were definitely thoughtful. They were only a couple that if you ran into death loops and whatnot, it was annoying. I do say that I do like the flexibility of being able to do it anytime that I want. That's definitely nice. But I can definitely see where in certain games it can be totally abused and therefore detract not only from the experience, but also the difficulty level, which is part of the
Speaking
fun.
of detract, we're about to head down the crystal ladder to the next map.
No, the crystal cat tree. Okay.
It does look like a cat tree.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Either that or it's the worst triple pole ever designed.
Yeah, it seems like a safety issue.
Can you imagine health and safety hanging that stripper pole out? It's like, okay, ladies, don't impale
Beware
yourselves.
of low flying nightmares. That's a callback to actually
Well, no,
Marathon's
it's
a
a
callback
call
to that.
forward.
It's
Yeah.
called forward.
Okay, Funk he says he's in the kitchen eating ice cream, which tells me he's actually in the kitchen peeing in the sink.
That was the other funny thing. While the marathon arc was going on, but before access to the alpha had dropped, the Destiny Lore Daddy streamer there, my name is Bife, jumped in and did a stream and was actually playing marathon. And when he got up to the level where you reactivated the drones,
yeah,
they were just targets in the environment, and I think he wasn't looking at the radar, and so he was just shooting them. And so I jumped in the chat and I said to him, I was like, "Why are you shooting the friendly drones?" And he was like, "I don't trust them."
Your teammates. He doesn't trust them. Oh my god! Wow, what a speciesist. Let's see.
Why does everything have to be so yellow here?
What's wrong with yellow?
Yeah, is this where you mine the crystal? Like
We require more minerals.
you know what the street value of this column is?
Lionel asks, yeah, if Bungie made System Shock R-style remakes of the trilogy Eternal, would Infinity and Durandal moments or Thoth moments or something? You think Durandal would add Thoth moments?
What's Thoth?
Thoth or Thoth, depending on how you want to pronounce it, is
I always mispronounce it for funsies.
Yeah, is a fit artificial intelligence that may or may not have been either partially influenced by or partially made up of a Yarrow artificial intelligence. And I think like one of the plot branches is Infinity is Durandal and Thoth merging, kind of like
Oh, is that the black and white terminal?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know
I
what's
remember
funny?
now.
I may be
Is
bastardizing that plot line, so
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I mean, we remember them on the terminals, and how many terminals have we read over how many years? I mean, so there's no way we're going to keep them all straight in our heads. But no, what's really hysterical is that of the marathon videos I've been watching, you can see a lot more channels are using AI rendered audio narrators rather than doing it themselves with microphones and stuff. I sort of get it. If I was a kid and I had those tools, I would probably use them myself. But what kills me is that when they try to pronounce certain specific game elements like Durandal,
Don't knife those.
and they say Durandal,
I am
or
stuck.
Marathon.
Yeah,
It's quite hysterical. You can tell immediately that, okay, this is an AI voice, guys.
I think we just have to blame ourselves. I think we were too hard on all these kids with their terrible microphones and their awful environments about how bad they sounded, and so now none of them want to do that. But I listened to the AI and I'm like, no, man, jump on your laptop we can hear your fan running and deliver your own lines. That's preferable. I'd rather you do that than do the AI nonsense. Just
see, the funny thing is
out of here.
There are so many tools, and like even professional YouTubers out there that are in echoey rooms with background noise. It's like, oh my God, download the tiny little NVIDIA plugin and turn on noise filtering.
I was
really simple.
I was shocked actually about how bad most of the microphone audio was on a lot of the people who jumped in to stream the Marathon Alpha. Sometimes
and
everybody,
we've been struggling with it. We're not perfect either.
Sometimes just whatever they were using for game chat was bad, and so the other players were, didn't sound good. But I've been
don't
spoiled
get me wrong,
by
audio be
by
hard
the people that I watch, who I think pay more attention to audio than the average.
Totally. Well, also, I mean, you listen and watch or should I say, listen and watch a lot of long-term streams in the background and stuff while you're doing other things. So for you, the audio is far more critical.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's see.
That is a lot of nightmares.
Vikings like they're everywhere. Shane Bishop, did not have his cedar box? Do you have your cedar box?
No,
We
we
don't have
haven't
the
found the
cedar
cedar
box
box yet.
No, we haven't found it.
busy.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just shoot, reload, repeat.
Okay, what's a cedar box?
I don't know. It's a
Don't worry.
box made of
Don't worry
We
cedar.
about
don't
it.
have
If
it
you
yet.
if you
It's-
knew, you'd already have it.
If you know,
Yeah, I
you
got it
know,
right here.
And if you don't know, then you don't know.
Oh, you do. Wait, when did we get
Yeah, I
that? Did we
do.
get that last time?
Where did you get that?
Hey, listen, this is when you guys were just talking and talking, and I couldn't get
Well,
a
you should have said
word.
something.
I tried
So wait,
to.
did you get it?
can
Did you
hear
get
me
it today or at an earlier stream?
today?
Yeah, when did you get
Okay,
that?
Today.
all right, great. So
You did?
it's fine.
Yes.
It's so fine.
So we have it.
Take your MP4. Can you put it? You can do a whole magazine, right, Leah?
Yep, you can do the whole magazine.
Okay, but only one at a time.
Yes.
Wait a second. Is this the replicator?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Get in there. Okay,
Where
it's
did
in
you
there.
find it?
It was in a room, and because when I got to the end of that long, very narrow hallway with those enemies that kept shooting at me, there was a door that I hadn't gone through, so I took the long way around. This is when you guys were starting to talk about The Exorcist, and it wasn't until he got to
okay.
the spider walk and the hell talk that I was trying to get a word in, but Black Star kept on talking about this and that and that, and I could I
Oh,
give
right.
up.
My fault.
Well, hey, you like to talk about stuff.
I'm talking with chat.
I mean, it's what we're here for, basically. We did start a
Yeah.
podcast. Video is kind of incidental.
It was kind of like, I guess we could.
I'm,
All right,
only,
how long
I'm
did-
only half kidding.
No, it's totally. Come on, we started out as anger, sadness, and envy.
Yep.
You know, I mean, come on. Who wants to listen to that? It was the best podcast name ever. No one will listen to you. Let's see. Zale says, yeah. Which of his voices for Durandal? See, I've always been wondering who they would pick for Durandal's voice, and I'm sure tons of fans have tons of opinions on the subject. So I
John
honestly
Travolta.
don't know.
If he's good, that Clay killed that. Oh, yay!
Oh, Shane Bishop says, I've always read Durandal as John DeLance. Hey, you got a good John DeLance voice? Maybe you could do that, Nart.
No, I don't know that I can do that, but that's an interesting interpretation for Durandal, but I don't.
Is Jean Luc Picard
it's
here?
too easy, in my opinion.
I don't
Really?
think Durandal's that.
I don't know.
I don't think Durandal's that charismatic. He doesn't.
He doesn't have that same style as
like
Q.
Q doesn't care about your opinion, and neither does Durandal.
Mm.
But
I've seen, yeah, he seems more I want to say impartial, but something more stronger than that.
like Q projects
Apathetic.
superiority in his understanding not only of the world and the universe, but also you. Like he comes
Right.
into that story and basically says, humanity, guys, you're not special. I've seen all this crap before. You suck, and you suck in these particular ways. And I'm going to tell you and show you so you know how bad you suck. And Durandal also thinks that people suck, but I would say he's not actually portrayed as having a complex understanding of people. And I would say it kind of leads up to this ultimate reveal that you get in Infinity that, hey, it turns out I wasn't the protagonist of
Okay,
this story.
I got it.
What you got? What you got?
Jesse Eisenberg or Michael Cera?
Yeah, I would say that's the kind of unjustified and puerile self-confidence that I would project onto the Durandal character. Is yeah,
Wow.
especially what Sarah's character in that musical. What's the name of that?
Barbie?
Okay, that's correct, but that's not what I was thinking of.
Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. Okay. Viking says maybe Zarbox. Lionel and
Scott Pilgrim versus
Zale are
the
having their own
World?
conversation.
No.
I'm also correct on that as well.
Yes,
Funk says Jerry
but that
Lewis.
wasn't the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, Durandal.
I would definitely use Zarvox or Trinoids or something.
And
Noise.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not thinking of Michael Cera.
See, the thing is, every time somebody says Zarvox, all I can think of is that Mac OS like 9 voice that Apple had made to sound all weird and technical that uses the same name. I don't think that's what people are imagining because it sounds very, very weird.
You ever watch the Disney movie Blank Check?
Check, blank check. No.
That's where a kid writes himself $1 million check from a bunch of criminals, and he impersonates an adult by using a Mac application that's a type to voice.
Oh, yeah.
That app never existed, of course, but it was pretty cool.
No, there's a bunch of text to speech with early Mac stuff. In fact, I remember late OS 9.922.
No, okay, so I will
early OS 10 that had that.
I will look for it, but that's not Michael Cera I was thinking of. So your answers about Michael Cera are correct, but that's not the character I was thinking of.
Yeah. I don't think they were really human voices that the Mac had.
Well, if we need
nothing natural.
If we're gonna have this thing sell, there's only one voice for Durandal that we gotta go with: Chris Pratt.
Oh God, I think he's been a little
No,
overused
that's
lately.
not.
He's
Not right either.
Yeah, I don't think Parks and Rec is
He's
right
not right
tone.
he's not right for Mario or Garfield either.
No, he's not. So why would those miscastings justify this one? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I am
two negatives.
I am quite really just casting to this electronic state didn't help anything.
Zale suggests Val Kilmer. That's an interesting choice.
Well, right now it would have to be Val Kilmer's son, whose voice does
no Funk here. Funk is saying, "Narc, are they going to Johnny Depp and Sweeney Todd?" No.
Viking says Pauly Shore is Tycho. Oh man, why not just Carrot Top?
No.
I feel the same about him and Pauly Shore. Cyborg says, yeah, I brought up in my old PID tour of duty. Yeah, someone else thinks the Oozers are human over as agreement. Okay, this is this side conversation. Yeah, Zale says Val Kilmer for Durandal, Judi Dench for Leela, and Tycho for
no.
Tycho Mark Strong. Wait, you think Judi Dench is too old to pull it off?
Yeah.
How about Idris Elba?
Well, okay, here's a question.
Elba for who?
If you were to pick ages, nationalities, styles, types, tones, who would you pick for who? Like, how do you imagine somebody's age, somebody's nationality, somebody's accent, or somebody's personality?
Leela,
so if you were to pick each one of them, what do you imagine in your head?
Leela is kind of straight-laced and I don't want to say naive because I don't think that's really it, but I would say very straight,
less complicated,
very straightforward.
Okay, I got one for Leela.
Yeah,
she's direct.
Alex Walton Regan with the American accent.
Okay. Funk says Durandal should be Keith David.
Well, that's a very judgmental voice he carries, so I could hear it.
Well, I mean, it's basically, and now Keith took over for Zavala, right? In the latest update?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about him doing that? Did it come off for you guys?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if he'd been doing it from the start, people would have been okay with it.
Oh, absolutely. I trust me. Keith David's voiceover, I don't think anybody would have any problems with it at any time. You know, I mean, he sounds great, but just tonally, I think he could do it. I think his performance would have been fine.
Yeah, like
the question is, can you imagine Durandal's character?
I don't see a lot of distance between the way Leela is characterized in Marathon and the way Cortana is characterized in Halo. It's just that we get far less of Leela in Marathon because of how early she exits the story and Durandal and Tycho take over.
Well, see, here's the funny thing, because there are so many voice cloning apps there that are out right now, and there are so many terminal texts that you could choose. You literally could grab all of these voices and make a small demo.
Yeah.
You know, grab a block from, each of their terminals, right? And then just put it in with an AI demo to see how it sounds to you.
So about 16 years ago, there was a neat little YouTube video that did Durandal using the Boeing voice.
Boeing
Oh,
voice.
from the Mac voice choices from
That
Boeing.
that has been
Oh my
stuck
God.
in my mind ever since as the voice of Durandal. It actually works really well.
What? Not Bubbles? You know, I mean, oh my God.
No, I can. Here, I'll.
How about
I'll
Charlize
fire up
Theron
Sheep-
as Leela?
Well, you know, I've been tempted to do mine. I didn't know if I could pipe mine in from here because
That'd be okay.
Well,
I can type mine.
I'm
just
doing this
so you
from.
get a block of text.
No,
here.
Yeah, I'm
actually-
doing this from vMix.
Actually, no, you know what? Knowledgeable and lawful good without being naive, Kate Blanchett.
Just not in her Borderlands 4 voice, please.
Funk
Or
says
just
John
Borderlands
Madden.
voice.
No,
Durandal.
you don't hire Kate Blanchett and make her do an American accent. That's stupid.
Oh, Viking says, what's with the
But-
memory putting a 3 monster type limit in PID marathon? Technical
How about
limitations. at the
Nicole Kidman with
time?
her Australian accent? She hardly ever uses it, and I think she sounds better with it.
I would not object to that.
I feel like I'm getting really low on ammo,
Now,
and these
Oh,
things
ha-
are
have you-
sludging.
So how long does the cedar box take to work? Do we have to sleep to make the box work?
check the instructions. I'm curious what nationalities you would imagine the computer voices. Do you imagine them being American, British, German? You know,
Well, what-
is there
Oh,
any
all
indication
American,
in the
all
stories?
American. If all the Bobs have American accents, the computers do.
Okay, all right. So you're
Yeah, fair.
imagining an American one. All right.
And like I said, Tycho is Lewis Black. That's always been very clear to me.
That's perfect.
No,
I
it is.
love
It
Lewis
is.
Black.
Like if you just look at all the terminals with Tycho and imagine that Tycho is talking in all caps at all times with 3 exclamation
Right.
points at every one of his lines, that's just it. You know, that's just perfect.
I don't know.
You'd have to have more swears in it. But the thing is, would it be his anger or just his voice?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically he's
Anger-
screaming like Lewis Black. all
Anger
the
is
time.
Tycho's like single motivation. It's what drives his
Really? I
entry
don't-
into the
I never
plot.
really
He's
see it like
pissed
that.
at Durandal. He looks at what Durandal has done and decides that it is so bad that it is worth doing even worse things in order to retaliate against him, to punish him, perhaps to prevent him from doing more harm. But you do get the idea that by the end, that's more a lie he's telling himself than the truth.
I mean,
would
the
say.
way he
doesn't come
the way-
across as angry to me so much as just smug.
well, the way he mocks Durandal, saying maybe we'll get him to open doors again.
Yeah, he's sarcastic.
Hello.
Yeah, Funk says, yeah,
There was a
Minerva from
sludge.
Half-Life Mod is British.
There's a sludge convention, and I wasn't invited.
Funk says it's a pretty interesting take on Tycho. I think he liked it. I'm just wondering if Lewis Black, his constant intensity, because he does have a range sometimes when he mellows out slightly. I'm wondering if that would work, because you'd have to have both of them. He's up or down. There's like no
Yeah.
middle of the road.
Yeah. That's all coiled spring.
Come on, guys, hit each other. Why are you hitting each other?
Yeah, Funk says, I mean, he was
Oh.
definitely angry in Marathon too,
Oh boy.
though, wasn't he?
Okay. I admit I made mistakes. Hey, Leela, about the cedar box thing. You sure about its length?
Sorry.
The cedar box.
What about it?
Besides its aromatic smell and foul place, you notice the inside of the box is warm to the touch.
Apparently, length is a factor.
Did we figure out the length of how long it takes to replicate items?
Oh, time. I don't know. I was thinking earlier that maybe it should be higher up in your inventory so that it's easier to tell when it duplicates. Because at the moment you've got it at the bottom, and you wouldn't actually
Ow.
see if it doesn't scroll down automatically.
Ugh. Ow. Ah, more. I think we're gonna get an opportunity to see how long a rest will affect it. So
From the company that fired pregnant women after showing off their multi-million-dollar car collection.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of detailed information. It just says wait a while. And I don't know, like, does it like when it happens, does a message show up in the log that tells you?
well,
that
I'm
it's
taking a
happened?
rest anyway. So fingers crossed.
And I do know, like, you can't like you can't put items in a container and then duplicate the whole container, can you? So you can't like put a whole
Well, we got
canvas
we got
bag
we got
in
an
there
extra
full
clip.
Okay, there you go.
Yay! Viking Billy Boy says, so one nap time tick would give you free ammo, so you have to manually wake yourself up constantly.
Oh, Lion's got a good idea. See, it says Louis Black sounds like an American Brian Blessed. So Brian Blessed, I think, would also, if you wanted to have a British AI in there, Brian Blessed could also be Tycho. Like, I think that would also work.
That would work?
Man,
Yeah.
Brian Bless would rock.
I think you want angry outbursts is something that Tycho does often enough that it's useful to have it, whereas I think it's not so much Durandal.
Yes. I can't believe Bliss is still around. That's amazing. I mean, come on. We remember him from such movies as
Inside Out.
I was thinking Flash Gordon.
Oh, Brian Blessed.
Yeah, from like 1980.
How about Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace?
Oh, that's 99. This is 1980, so that's
It's still Brian Blessed.
I know, but it's the whole idea is how long he's been around.
How about Hamlet?
What year did that come out? Was that 70s?
No, late 90s. Kenneth Branagh film.
Again, that doesn't showcase his age.
Age is just a number.
If we want all British AIs, then you could
Well, see, that's just it. I didn't know in the lore if they mentioned where these were manufactured or who wrote them or what company.
No,
owns
I don't
or,
think they get into that at all. But since we've
I
gone
wasn't
that way
sure.
anyway,
I
right?
didn't wanna-
So Kate Blanchett is Leela. Brian Blessed is Tycho. Gary Oldman is Durandal. That's what I do.
And what? Your element is kind of spread out. What voice from what movie are you thinking?
If you're looking at somebody who thinks himself as really clever as doing evil things and making plans and having those plans fail, it's Emmanuel Zorg in Fifth Element.
Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
Great. One of the best villain names of all time.
Yeah. And I don't think he necessarily has to do that voice. But I think there's some similarity there between the character who is doing a bunch of bad things that he thinks are justifiable and making a lot of plans and thinks of himself as an evil genius, and turns out he kind of falls short of that.
I remember when he was said to be cast as General Grievous for episode 3, but he was part of the actors union that they couldn't use.
Yeah. Stupid rules. Everyone. In fact, there was a film I saw recently that had like an excellent opportunity to use that. I love the ones that actually
Hey, Leah,
quote that
Yes?
with him.
what do we got there?
We have some terminals that I thought I might be fun to try and
do you want me
try
to
out
put
with
it?
some.
Do you want me to put it up on the big screen?
They're pink.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
that's just my highlight
Oh,
color.
okay. Can you move the window?
Wow. Are you using the tangerine theme?
No, the screen capture is set to the window, so that means that your
Yes.
grabbing of the window is centered.
I
Okay.
know.
Well, no. I mean, I'm thinking the
But-
color palette
but
because it looks
these
orange
are all
and pink.
These are all cropped
right.
so that they work for the game. So
I
it's
see.
easier
Right,
if you
move the window of the
Yeah, a little bit over.
yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
different window.
It
The
still
Windows
says
and
cats in the
Windows.
marathon.
Yes,
but
it does because
yes.
that's burned in.
No, but
Okay,
what?
I don't know if does the sound come through? If I do.
No.
Yeah, no,
No.
we're not hearing the sound
um,
package. Yeah, see, that's my problem. I'm looking through a Mac, but I'm actually doing this on a remote PC, so I can't really pipe in any audio unless I do an NDI feed.
Oh, wait, so that's,
Zale says, that nails it. Stansfield Oldman for Durandal.
so is there something you need to switch in your inputs to take the...
It would replace your microphone. We're getting Jail's game screen and audio because he's streaming to us via OBS, not coming
Yes.
through the vMix call.
Oh, okay. Well, then
It's a different process.
Okay, so you want me to pause for a bit?
No. Maybe we could, practice for this or set up early for next time. Maybe we can do it. Or to be honest, what you could probably do is like export out the files as a pre-recorded one and just play it from the same machine that you got as your mic.
Yeah, so Lee, you were trying to play the terminals in the Bubbles voice, right? No, I can't hear Lee anymore.
I can hear you. Yeah. No, we can still hear you. Was Narc turned you off by accident?
No, she's not coming through the vMix call anymore, so the stream is not hearing Lee anymore.
Oh,
you can because you're listening to Mumble.
That's a goof.
But I have her muted in Mumble.
Oh.
But if I don't hear her, the stream doesn't hear her.
Gotcha.
The screen sharing, do you hear me?
Okay, I got you back.
Not hear me?
I've got you back.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Thunk says Benjamin Cumberbatch would be a good Durandal as Smog, I think, but not in a Dragon Base.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice, Benedict.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And if I do this,
Although I wouldn't mind if he was Tycho either.
Yeah, I could see either one of those.
Vikings like all excited. Wait, so you can run it through the Zarvox voice? And like, yes, she can. I could too, but I don't have any of those terminals right now. Yeah, Viking says in the game's original lore, they were probably just text with no voice. But Durandal's quote laughter makes the captured 4 ship shake. Kind of like shaking, power cells. Is it a Unitronics? So yeah, so the question comes though, is that within the lore, who made the AIs, what company or military were there to give it some credence as far as its origins that would give some idea of where they might have come from, therefore possibly what nationality or style the voice would be. I always thought that in an updated version, having that kind of interactivity or replayability where you heard a voice performance for all the text, I thought would have been awesome. In fact, I remember talking to Narc on several occasions like, hey, yeah, can't we just pipe in the mic or pipe the output from the text into the Max built-in voice stuff just so we could read it? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, you could manually. It's like, well, why didn't they do it in the game? I mean, the Apple already had that stuff built in. So that would have been really, really cool that the terminals were actually read to you. Because I'm dyslexic, reading stuff incredibly hard for me. So
okay, Leah, you're now sending me Blackstar's voice back to me. So.
Cool. Does that sound echoey?
Yes.
I claim this land for Spain.
That was the wrong thing to click.
Zale says, if we're going by the names, Durandal is French, Leela is Jewish, and Tycho is Greek.
Okay. Well, I guess we could do Durandal because we're French.
Oh, now I remember.
French Canadian doesn't count, and we're more Irish
that's so wrong.
And English.
French Canadian does count.
I missed something there. And now we're talking about French Canadians.
Narc was dumping on our lineage.
Zale was saying that if you take the names as the inspirations, then the Durandal character should be French, the Leela character should be Jewish, and the Tycho character should be Greek. And Blackstar was like, well, we can be the French character. And I'm like, no, that's French Canadian. It's not the same thing.
I could be the French character.
Why don't we just get someone that is actually French?
Well, I'm part Belgian, so that works.
No parts about it.
Belgian, man. Belgium.
Je parle français.
Do you know they had the first fully lit motorway in the world? It's true.
Did Jeremy Clarkson break down on it?
I'm sure, as well as being pulled over.
Good. Then it served its purpose.
Okay, I'm remembering how I did this before.
Tallest
Who's
race on the
that?
planet? Now the Dutch. Officially. Mind you, they do take a lot of drugs.
Gucci, but yeah, this is what I'm looking for.
I was trying to remember if they've put the classic like Mac OS 9 text-to-speech stuff
In the new stuff?
in modern Mac OS, or if somebody has ported it or like made
I
voices
thought they did.
available.
Well, see, hold on. Let me look on my Mac right now and see what's there. Because you can download a whole lot of new ones that are all really high quality. Yeah, this live speech, spoken content, voice control, voice over.
Yeah, right. But do they
So
have the
many
classic
options.
ones?
You can even make a personal one. Have you heard about this? You can create one. You can create your own personal voice, which is why what I wanted to do with some of the new AI tools is to replicate one that I liked and then make a custom one of that in the Mac.
Now that is a very golden door.
Okay, so it was Bubbles,
It was one of them, yeah.
Leah?
No, not Bubbles.
Not Bubbles?
It
Which
was
one
not
then?
the Bubbles.
No, I suggested Bubbles.
Okay.
Yes.
So which one?
I usually pick
which
Samantha.
voice? Which voice was it? Yeah, that was the one I had.
It was
Yeah.
Boing.
Boing. Okay. Boing. All right.
Yeah, that's a goofy voice.
And which terminal did you choose?
I don't remember. But I found my Pipewire thing.
Okay.
So I could.
Well, if you get it to work for me, then go ahead.
Yeah, I just need to. Where's Shapeshaver? And then.
Yeah, you can even pick sentence pausing, timbre, pitch rate, and volume. And yeah, we only had like one or two of these options. I think we had rate back in the day, and that was like it. And now you've got everything from Bulgarian, Croatian, Finnish.
Hear that?
No.
Maybe.
Norwegian. I mean, yeah, you've got so many options for all these.
Sorry to give you the bad news, but you've been kidnapped. You are
In fact,
very
even
low
the type
on
of speech, you can do
Titudo,
pronunciation,
and you
speech,
Blackstone,
surely
hold on.
won't get there
selection.
anytime
Hold on.
soon. I was watching.
Hold on. You want me to restart?
Yeah. No, hold on a second, because not everybody is hearing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it.
Blackstar's not hearing it.
I'm not hearing it.
Okay. It stopped at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to add Leah's voice into the return audio, but this also means you
Well, I
guys
could
have to
pipe it
mute
into
Leah
Mumble
in
as
Mumble.
well, and I could pipe it into Mumble instead if that works too.
Well, then only we'd hear it.
Oh.
Yeah. This works
Okay.
better.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Oops.
Sorry to give you the bad news, but you've been kidnapped. You are very low on Titudo, and you surely won't get there anytime soon. I was watching what Leela was having you do. Save the ship. Save humanity. And just what or who are you saving them from? And to what end? How cliche. You'll find this little visit much more exciting. I have Devaxi number Monday number take you to play. If you win, you go free, and we continue our relationship on friendlier terms. If you lose, you die. Good luck in our little game. Unlike Leela, I give no hints. Do it on your own, or die trying. Insanely yours, Durandal.
The
Mother of mercy.
the downward trajectory of the pitch on every sentence, Like that sounds to me like a good stand-in for Marvin. Like if you didn't have
Yes.
a voice for Marvin, it's an interesting take for Durandal.
Well, the original voice, because keep in mind, there's a whole lot of people that only remember the 2005 movie that had what's his face? I'm pulling a blank from Die Hard.
Alan Rickman.
Yes, Alan. Thank you. Alan Rickman as Marvin. I mean, he did a good job, but in my mind, the original television and radio voice guy is Marvin. I mean, you can't really beat that. Imagine doing an AI version of that as your as your computer voice. I think that would be rather awesome. But yeah, can you imagine Marvin as Durandal? I mean,
yeah,
I can.
Maybe if I sped it up, it would be a little different.
Well, again, you can change the pitch and the timbre and speed and all that other fun stuff. So there may be some tweaking. But
So about that,
it sounds a little too goofy to me, though. You know, I can't take it seriously.
Leah.
Hmm?
About that golden door, is there anything we can do with it on this level, or do we proceed downward?
Oh, golden door?
Yeah, there's a golden door. I'll show you it in this section right here on the map.
Oh, that. I think you need a key for that, and I think that's part of what the Easter egg is for.
Well, we got the Easter egg. Should I use it now?
No, I don't remember exactly.
Do we need to consult the Book of Armaments?
Let's consult the Book of Armaments, because this is going to be a long trip.
I'm
Fair
pretty
enough.
sure it's something we come back for later.
Should we take a break?
Actually, yeah. Why don't we take the break and I will consult the Book of Armaments and we'll come back. How about that?
Okie
That was
dokie.
good.
Okay.
See you soon.
Okay. Okay, we should be back now. I think we're back now. Hello?
Yes.
Are we back?
Yes.
Good.
Yes,
Magic
we
U's
are
in
back.
chat. Hi, Magic U. And Lionel was asking, like, hey, you gonna
Oh.
play SVP3? If so, please use my walkthrough. And I was like, I don't think we will.
What, player uses walkthrough? Geez, that sounded mean.
Oh no! If we were
I
to
don't
ever,
think we will.
if we were
I don't
ever,
care what you said. What was
if-
that?
that's the Guardian. Didn't you recognize it, Blackstar? Did you recognize the Guardian?
No, I did not.
No, I don't think we're gonna play playing SVP3.
Oh,
If we
okay.
did, then absolutely would use Lionel's walkthrough.
I'll like to
Oh,
play
we're
that
in the
over
labyrinth now.
marathon. Yeah, what's with the
Yes.
color palette change? This is very 90s.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, this level is a pain in the butt.
This looks like something out of DS9's couch cushions. Seriously.
Yeah, Funk's like, I'll play SVP3. Okay. I'll watch you play SVP3.
What is SPV3?
It's a
again?
Halo mod. It's a
Oh.
I hate those things.
I'm thinking like Space Paranoids version 3? What?
I would play that.
The list that we're on, every time you enter it, it changes.
What?
Yes.
My God.
Oh my god,
There's
it's,
no
it's
map.
procedurally generated content.
I was gonna ask, did they invent
From
procedural
1993.
generation?
No, they were too late for that by several years.
I would think so.
I don't know if it's like list of maps or like they randomly determine which walls are there or not, but
Oh, Cyborg said, yeah, it's a fan-made Halo CE. We're not calling it that. That does Halo 1. Leaves Redux as a marathon. Oh, cool. Okay, I see. I get it. I get the picture.
Polka
Amber
dotting.
says solo jazz coffee shop aesthetic on the walls. Well, strangely enough, this reminds me of, if you remember several Deep Space Nine episodes with Cisco, in particular, in the pale moonlight, he's sitting on the couch for a very, very long time, and there's some cushions, there's some pillows on either side of him, and those pillows are like default 90s color palette aesthetics. The deep black with these type of teal, and I guess you'd call it pinky russet. I don't know what color would you call that, Narc? The reddish pink. If you had to choose,
I don't know.
hmm.
Is it
That's
russet?
kind of a rose.
I don't know. I always like the
Your
sound of
light
that color.
rose.
Cyborg says, if Pathways was made today, the labyrinth should be called "Where's the damn violet crystal?"
Okay, so your cedar box is at the top. I wonder if the cedar box has to be closed in order to replicate.
Nope, it just replicated.
Oh, it did? Okay. Oh, I see. Yep, there it does.
Could it replicate some peking raviolis? Because then it would be useful.
Kind of a cherry blossom pink when I'm looking at it. I'm going over the Wikipedia page for shades of pink.
So you're thinking cherry blossom,
Yeah, some of them.
and
The
and
lighter
that
ones.
green. Would you call that a teal or
I would call that a
seafoam?
teal, but then again, you know, color blindness
No.
runs in the family, so maybe I shouldn't be opining.
My eyes are fine. You
As far as I know,
colorblind?
mine are too. But I mean, like, there's still plenty of disagreements among people about like what color is that.
Dads are horrible. Dads are absolutely horrible. He pushes such a red push on the television. It's
Yeah,
not even
yeah.
funny. He is really lacking red.
I think I'm like color hypersensitive to the point where I lose track of.
Like shape definition. Does it bleed?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like things are like things that are. I have a harder time than other people of telling apart things that are the same color but different brightnesses.
Oh, okay. So it's a differentiation based on either brightness, intensity, or contrast, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like my brain keys into like differences in hue really sharply, but then differences in value not as much for other
Ah,
people.
okay. So the brightness value, it just kind of it
Yeah, it
muddies
doesn't matter
together.
as much.
Interesting. Okay.
That's got to be like neurological. It can't be like that's
Leah,
how
should
eyes
I get
work.
out of this map as quickly as possible, or is there something that we can do despite the randomness of it?
I don't remember.
You may just have to look at every single corner. Viking says,
I think there's something in here we need, but I don't remember
yeah, it
what
looks
it
like
is.
magenta and seafoam green to me. Okay, yeah, maybe fuchsia.
Oh yeah, seafoam green. Yeah.
Fuchsia,
I don't
magenta.
think it's bright enough to be fuchsia. But I could be wrong.
No, it's too red to be fuchsia.
Well, there's two different types. There's a brighter triangle and a dimmer triangle. Same thing with the green. There's a lighter triangle and a darker triangle. So.
Why did anyone think these orbs were fun?
They're not. Yeah, this is like
do
my
not
least
taunt
favorite
happy
level.
fun orb.
Yeah, I think somebody was just a fan of Phantasm over at Bungie at the time.
I've heard that reference made before, but I don't know what it's to.
Oh, Phantasm is a horror movie series where
No,
there's
the do not taunt the happy fun orb.
oh, that's an SNL skit.
That's Saturday Night Live routine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a
was
whole
like
big litany.
It was like a fake ad for a product where
for a toy.
it's like it's this vague toy thing that's supposed to also like do everything, but then it starts getting dark when they give you warnings about it was like a send up of product safety warnings, ultimately doing this thing that like you shouldn't make fun of it because something.
Actually, let me see if I can find the litany of text on Happy Fun Ball.
And I ended up zeroing on that and sticking it in my own brain when I was working at the Lowell Sun newspaper in the late 90s, because they gave out a little squeeze stress ball that was bright yellow with the Sun's logo on it in orange. And I made a little joke poster that says, do not taunt Happy Sun Ball.
Okay, yeah, Happy Fun Ball was a parody advertisement aired on February 16th, 1991 on Saturday Night Live.
Okay. Jail, isn't this the second time we've been in this level?
No. I would remember these orbs anywhere.
Okay, then but it should be, because we should have entered the labyrinth after Happy Carnage, and the visit to Labyrinth after Beware of a Low-Flying Nightmare should be the second trip there.
Is this so did we skip over this level when we took that one teleporter because there's so many? Because I've gone past two. I've gone past two ladders.
But the violet crystal is here, so you absolutely need
it. Okay, the Happy Fun Ball transcript. Little kids, kid 1, kid 2. It's happy, it's fun, it's Happy Fun Ball. Announcer, yes, it's Happy Fun Ball. The toy sensation that's sweeping the nation. Only $14.95 at participating stores. Get one today. Warning: pregnant women, the elderly, children under 10 should avoid prolonged exposure to Happy Fun Ball. Caution: Happy Fun Ball may suddenly accelerate to dangerous speeds. Happy Fun Ball contains a liquid core which, exposed to raptures, should not be touched, inhaled, or looked at. Do not use Happy Fun Ball on concrete. Discontinue use of Happy Fun Ball if any of the following occurs: itching, vertigo, dizziness, tingling in extremities, loss of balance or coordination, slurred speech, temporary blindness, profuse sweating. If Happy Fun Ball begins,
drug ad now, like they're all
please,
pretty much, yeah.
Any ad now has these warnings. If Happy Fun Ball begins to smoke, get away from it immediately. Seek shelter. Cover head. Happy Fun Ball may stick to certain types of skin. When not in use, Happy Fun Ball should be returned to its special container kept under refrigeration. Failure to do so revives the makers of Happy Fun Ball, Wacky Products Incorporated, and its parent company, Global Chemicals Unlimited, for any and all liability.
I have to stop you there. Certain types?
Yes.
Excuse me, what?
certain types of skin.
Okay.
They don't say tone.
I know they don't say it,
types.
but they
So-
probably shouldn't have said that anyway. Okay.
I
Anyway,
know, but
go ahead.
itchy,
Go ahead.
dry, flaky, moist, oily.
Sure, I'm
those are
sure
types
that's what
of
they
skin.
meant. I'm sure
Yes.
that's what they meant.
Ingredients of Happy Fun Ball include the unknown glowing green. What is it? Oh, substance which fell to Earth, presumably from outer space. They've got substance and which together as one word, so somebody missed a space. Happy Fun Ball has been shipped to our troops in Saudi Arabia and is being dropped on our warplanes in Iraq. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. Happy Fun Ball comes with a lifetime warranty. Happy Fun Ball, except no substitutes.
Which is the only line that stuck in my head, right? Like out of all of that, the only part that I ever remembered was the do not
Everybody
taunt.
says that.
Because
Yeah,
it's the
that was the
shortest
best line. That was the best line. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. Because nobody's going to memorize all the other ones.
No.
I mean, it's quite extensive. It is
Although
funny.
I didn't know it was responsible for Gulf War syndrome. That's interesting.
They had to come up with some explanation.
What was
The
that? Did
government
I see
wasn't
America
saying.
Online in there, Leah?
What?
Did I see America
No,
Online in there, Leah?
I don't think so. I don't have any America Online. There's
okay.
Netscape and Microsoft Internet Explorer 5.
Do you know, up until I want to say a couple
Now,
years ago,
where's NCSA Mosaic?
I don't have that.
should be there.
Gopher? Got Gopher?
Mhm. No, I hate to say it. A friend of mine is actually still paying for AOL, even though he has broadband with
What?
another company.
What?
Yes. He says he does not want to lose his AOL email address.
I still find it amazing. I do come across people with like, America Online or Hotmail addresses.
Yeah.
Still, it's wild.
I tried to explain it to him in every possible way, but nobody listens to me.
I mean, if it was praised as I absolutely need to avoid Google, I would be like, okay, I feel you. You know, I'm not
but
making that choice, but I could understand it.
There are 10 other options if you want to avoid Google. In fact, to be honest, I'm trying to figure out how to eliminate as much as Google as human possible.
Oh, yeah, I've been working on that.
It has gotten so scary. I was talking with John Cimino on the phone just the other day, and I mentioned supposedly there was a thing on YouTube I saw that statistically the most popular or favorite South Park episode was Make Love Not Warcraft. After we had that conversation, not 5 minutes later in my YouTube stream comes up with a highlight showcasing, guess what? Make Love Not Warcraft. So
Yeah.
super paranoid me would go, oh my God, my Google phone is listening to me.
Yeah. I mean,
I got it off my phone, thank goodness.
I've barely given it up, but I am looking again into self-hosting for mail, which is one of those things that everybody tells you like you shouldn't do.
Yeah. I don't
did
care.
We did for a long time. And
we did. And at the time it was serious hoop jumping. Do you know what I mean? It was not fun. It was hard. It still is. But there are more options these days.
No, actually, you know what? If you're looking at what OS and application software combinations can you use that are legitimate, leaving aside just the connectivity questions, right? Which is that you can't use anything in a residential IP block because, you will not be allowed. They will not.
That's okay. We got work.
Traffic. That's fine.
We got the office.
But
So.
there were more free options available in the last, like from the 90s forward than there are now. There are some good options now, but there used to be more.
I would suggest mail.com, which literally is really good because all you got to do is take the G out. Boom, keep your address.
No, I don't mean services. I mean software infrastructure available for you if you want to self-host, because there used to be lots of options.
Because no free open source guys, they don't want to troubleshoot it for the rest of time, which is what they would have to do. So
like even before macOS Server, Apple had free versions.
Yeah.
It literally was AIMS.
Well,
the Apple
do the old
Internet
ones
Mail
still
server.
Yeah, do the old ones still work? Can't you just put that in a VM somewhere or make a Docker out of it?
You could, but if you're going to run a Docker or a VM, then there are other VMs you're going to run. You're not going to run.
Right.
You're not going to run like Eudora Internet Mail Server or Apple Internet Mail Server on classic Mac OS.
If you were a zealot, though, I mean, yeah, but theoretically, you could just get an old Mac somewhere and just throw it on that machine too. But I'm just saying, if you were an absolute, no, it's not worth it. But if you wanted to, there are zealots out there that could make it happen. Not only A, just to say they could do it, but B, to say that it's to prove that it's possible. I mean, hell, funny, I gave Doug those X serves. You remember the X serves we used to have at the office that I had the front room for, God, I don't know how many years. I ended up giving those things to Doug, and he kept trying to put Linux on them. And every guy he told me, it's like, that's impossible. You can't do it. No one can put Linux on X serves. He did it. And as far as I know, he was still using them up till a few years ago.
Which one did he
Finally
put on there?
got
Asahi
it.
Or? Okay, Purple Crystal. It's like
there we go.
Who even knows? I'll have to bug him.
Who pooped that, I wonder. Okay.
Lionel wants to know, Happy Fun Ball, who made that toy? Aperture Science?
Now that you've got a few MP41 magazines, maybe it'd be good to get to start in on early on the grenades.
Grenades? I don't even have a grenade launcher.
Not yet.
Grenader? I hardly know her.
You've got a grenade.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Where are you, you bloody?
The 40
the 4 millimeter heat cartridge?
Yeah.
Funk says he
Yeah,
uses HTML server on Windows.
Oh, you can't. Or does it not fit in there
No, you
because there
can.
was something in it already?
There was
Yeah,
something
there
in
was
it
already.
already.
Ah, okay, cool.
I hope
There you
these are enough magazines.
Well, I mean, now that you have the cedar box, you can always just switch back to replicating the MP41 when you get low.
I don't think I'm ever gonna get low. These idiots keep bogging me down.
Can you
Is there-
duplicate? Can you duplicate the Nazi propaganda?
Why would we want
Let's
to do
not.
that?
I'm just curious. I know that some items you can duplicate and some you can't. I was just kind of curious where that fell.
Ah,
Oh man, I think
these
it's
things
only
must
ammo.
respawn. Like really crazy.
There might be infinite respawns on this level. Are there any infinite respawns in Pathways?
My
Yeah, I
God.
think every level has response. It's question.
It's
They're definitely-
infinite.
Oh, Deck is in the chat. It says, I don't think you planted the bomb yet, but remember to plan your escape route before doing so. And I forget
Oh,
that the box
good.
duplicate the magic crystals. I'm pretty sure that's the thing it can't duplicate.
The shock orbs have of 32, whatever that means.
Funk is saying, get that drop, Black Star? What drop? I'm not playing.
Ugly.
Oh, wow, it's those things from
Okay,
the
yeah,
Marathon
most
Alpha.
Most levels, I'm seeing a respawn rate of 2 to 7,
Skitter.
and then on the labyrinth, it's like 32. Oh, but no. Okay.
Yeah, so I think the screenshots of the Marathon Alpha, the old one, before Marathon had ceilings at all.
Yeah.
There's a screenshot that has one of those things in it.
I think the
This
marathon
level scared
didn't
me when I was little.
didn't the Marathon Trilogy box set come with a very, very pre-demo of that release of Marathon?
Yeah, they were also, I think, some floppies given away at Macworld that had them in. And you
I
know
just
what?
remember
A month ago, I could have searched for that, and Marathon Alpha would have been a very usable search term to find those images. And guess what?
oh god.
Not
Guess
not
what?
anymore.
Is it now? No.
Nope. Oh, I gotta link you that comedy video, that guy where he talks about the 80% drop off in the alpha.
What was that?
Oh, that's a skeleton that causes earthquakes.
Yeah.
As they
Earthquakes?
do.
Yep.
I probably have to find it by browsing the storage page directly because Google simply cannot find that anymore. Not possible.
Wouldn't be surprised.
You know, it kind of makes sense if you had like an earthquake that sort of brought skeletons out of the ground. Skeleton causes earthquakes.
Fuck says, can you duplicate the Nazi propaganda? Should go on the soundboard. Oh, and apropos of nothing, I ported the soundboard to a different piece of software again.
Ow.
just because I could. Ow, oh, ow, indeed.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I
Like
haven't
Google
used
search
it.
sucks now anyway. Yep, that's true.
I haven't used it in years.
I'm using DuckDuckGo most of the time. But if I have to use Google, then I'm using the things that basically make sure that there are no AI summaries in it.
Right. Yeah, I usually use DuckDuckGo or Brave.
Why does it feel like we're in
What?
Chinatown now?
Oh gosh. I do see a face that is not like intended to be the face of this creature. It just like it's got a long mustache.
Viking Boy Billy is yelling at us that we shouldn't be here yet.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Are you playing too fast?
Well, we did miss the gold key, apparently.
Well, yeah, but as
Darn
far as
it.
I could tell, the gold key just opens the gold door, and behind the gold door are gold ingots. But I don't know what we need them
Gold
for.
ingots and a Nazi.
Is it a plot important Nazi? Because we were supposed to have the gold key already, and we don't, and I don't know where we missed it. I know who has it, but I don't know where they are. And that came from a conversation with Mueller where you had to ask him about gold, but we would have had no reason to ask him about that because
Oh. Did we miss looting one of the Nazis in the...
Oh, have you guys heard of the Google web search feature? The tab that they didn't tell anyone about?
no.
Apparently there was some big law out that was applied where people were piss bitching and moaning that Google results have been absolutely horrendous. So apparently almost exactly a year ago, there was a feature that was put into Google that if you look at the top of the bar, there is a button on there marked web. If you want to do a search with Google, instead of doing all or everything or any of those other tabs at the part that everyone ignores, hit web and do your search there. It puts in this little tag inside the search box that apparently fixes all the insane advertising and features and nasty stuff and whatever else in there by putting this tag in there. Yeah, because it's buried under the three buttoned more option. You have to manually select it. And a web search tag adds a specific, I think it's like a special character dash equals something 14.
Yes,
and
it's
that's
UDM
what
14.
Right.
You can also configure your browser so that when you use its thing, which is like if you type in the title bar and you want that to be a Google search, that it passes that parameter to Google. And I have all my browsers configured to do that.
Okay, see, I've got it. I'm gonna start to do that, but I've just been using DuckDuckGo myself. But the thing is that, yeah, I guess there's some plugins that can force it to do it, but there's also apparently some default settings that you can add directly to the browser itself that will force every search to do that. So there is a way around it. And yeah, it eliminates all those stupid advertisement search results that pummel anything you want to look at. I'm still curious as to whether it forwards all your search data and whatnot. I would assume it still does.
We got two ladders that are now these blue veins. That's new. And
really? I thought those were like coral.
Lion-O is telling us that the key that we missed is in warning earthquake zone. And I know there's a conversation where we could have talked to Mueller. If we'd asked Mueller about gold, what he was going to say was that like he told Walter that there was gold to motivate him, but there wasn't any gold. So then we'd be looking for the Walter character who's supposed to have the key, but then Lion-O tells us that Walter had the key and that Javier and Carlos took it from him.
We haven't met them yet.
Okay.
So what is it? Are we too far or on course?
I think we're on course. I think.
Well, I think this is the first time we've been on Labyrinth. It just kind of threw me because in the walkthrough I was looking at, the first time should not have been after Beware Low Flying Nightmares. That should have been the second time. So I think we haven't. Oop.
What the heck?
He's in the middle of praying. You know, excuse him.
These
gonna-
enemies.
So does friendly fire exist? Are they gonna kill each other here?
We could only hope.
I don't think that I've never actually stopped and watched this. This is neat.
I think
is
we've
this-
conquered PID.
I
Is
think
this
you need
guy-
to agree.
Let's
Is this guy
fight.
alive?
We're gonna retire undefeated. We've completely
He's quite
bogged down the
obviously
enemies.
alive. He's actually probably might be the only alive person down here.
Is he
There's another
moving
one over
slightly,
here.
or is he staying in the same spot?
He's staying in the same spot, I think.
Okay. So theoretically, as long as you don't move, you should
There's
be.
another one of these guys over here.
Yep.
Can you
Ah!
talk to them?
Are they spawning in to stop you? Are your movements going to be completely restricted down all the tunnels?
Whatever it is, it's stopping me.
Is
yeah,
it
you can't get through that
is
now.
it killing your health?
It doesn't. No, it
No.
doesn't seem to hurt you though.
Buddy, hey, it's a nightmare in here.
Viking Billy Boy's like, I don't want to be a big spoily doo-doo head, but if you keep going this way, you're gonna get a bad ending.
Oh,
Oh,
Dun dun dun.
there you go.
I think
Bad
we,
ending.
I think we just did.
Jeez.
I gotta admit, when I did some reading on this, I do remember coming across this. What was it?
yeah. You need the green crystal, I think, to get past those guys.
The Greek. What does the Greek crystal do?
Stops
earthquakes.
earthquakes.
No,
I
causes them.
was just killed by an
Oh.
earthquake. They weren't even affected by it.
Yeah, that's. I guess they have to be player-originated earthquakes.
Oh no. That's
Yep.
Okay, but this is not the level warning earthquake zone, which is where the gold key is. So this shouldn't even be the first level where we're encountering earthquakes, should it?
I don't know. I just followed directions, and the directions told me take this portal to skip a lot of stuff.
Oh, we don't want to skip things.
But we did when we took that
Then
one portal.
Then I think the problem is that we've skipped a lot of stuff.
Well,
No,
Cyborg
we took a portal to skip backtracking.
Yeah.
Cyborg says only the green Chaos Emerald on the level Watch Your Step can kill the monks. He also says Billy is right. We need to go up to the level Need a Light through the labyrinth first to get a radio beacon.
I have no idea where
Okay.
the heck we are.
Yeah, I don't know where we are either.
My God, they've lost it. We've
All right,
lost
let's see.
the
Let's go.
theme.
Let's go downstairs this coral and see what happens. Hello. Oh, this is a.
Oh, well,
that's a
watch
cool-
your step. There you go. You're at watch your step. I assume those
Wait,
are
wait.
mines.
Yeah,
Um,
looks like mines.
Great. Do a save.
Watch your step.
Save stuff.
I've saved. We're
Okay.
good. We're good.
Just saying.
Hold your. Oh.
No, I assume you cannot walk past those. You have to choose
Yeah.
another.
Well, can you shoot them?
I doubt it.
Watch
get-
this.
I get which way
I'll be
to-
fine. See, it barely even hurt.
Oh, there you go.
Now, does it go away once you detonate it?
Yes.
Billy
Do
says
watch, I'm
this
gonna do
map will
this
make
one.
you mad.
Ow. I'm actually stung.
He's already mad.
Oh, what was that?
So lost.
Zale Mannings does. I am so lost.
Where's my darn flashlight? No, that's not doing it either.
You know, for a millisecond there, while that was running off the top of the screen, I thought it was something running on the top of the screen.
Because it looks, because it is. It's going in front. It's literally going in
Yeah.
front of everything else.
It's so
In a way,
random.
it shouldn't be if it was an object in the world.
No. Well, not to mention the fact that he's streaming the game, so it's impossible for something physical on the screen to show up here.
Being caught
But
in the
still,
sticky
for a
strands
millisecond.
of a skitter's web and devoured it. They're supposed to be spiders? Had not
Yep,
thought
I
about
think
these
so.
being spiders.
Really?
Oh wow. Okay.
They did not
All right.
Maybe
look.
spiders.
They look more
Okay.
reptilian than spider-like.
I don't
What
like
the heck
sound of
just
that.
happened?
And Decca's like, torch, extinguish torch.
I think we did.
I did extinguish torch. They were still coming.
Well, you know, Decca, he's very judgmental on our timing.
He is judgmental.
Look, damn your eyes.
Too late.
Funk says, yeah, butthole mines are flying, and flying comedians are both high on my school battle of the bands. Butthole mines, flying chameleons. Okay.
Butthole mines. Won't you-
No. Ah! Who did
Funk
that?
says, I think
Yeah, I
they look
agree,
cute.
Pokemon.
This from
Oh.
the guy who's terrified of butterflies. He think these things look cute.
Well, they don't have wings and they aren't
It's a
flapping.
very
at you.
localized earthquake.
And it's like it's not even fair because it's like they don't even have a visible projectile, and it's instantaneous.
Okay, aren't we trying to go up that coral?
Down the coral. I have a bad feeling about this.
Thought Watch Your Step was up from here. No?
Yeah, I'm gonna just Okay. Another cartridge. Making sure I take it out every time I go to sleep.
Funk says, they are cute. They're all fluffy and friendly.
Okay, so when I go down here, we're gonna be attacked by those green lizard monkeys that fly across the screen.
That Funk
know
seems
it-
to think are really
Yeah,
cute.
you have to
and
turn off
furry.
your flashlight. to
Okay,
stop.
flashlight.
Do you have to go
Oh.
infrared?
Maybe safe before you go down.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a
okay,
good
one
idea,
second.
too.
Can you turn on infrared
No,
to get
yeah,
around
with the
those,
cheats
or-
not on.
Oh. Well, that explains it.
Watch
Oh.
your step.
Viking
Okay,
says
there you go.
the skittery death noise is the same stock sound of the spider mastermind, isn't it? I honestly don't know. Do you recognize that as that stock
I have
spider
to
sound?
hear it
Ah!
again, maybe?
They're still attacking me. My light is off.
Okay.
Oh, it must be something else.
Alien pipes.
No, it's not that.
I'm sorry, they look like frogs or toads
Ah!
to me. I don't get spiders looking at those things.
I don't give a crap what they look like. They're attacking me.
All right, let me look this up then.
Flashlight on.
Better you
No.
than me.
Digital watch off. No. Okay. Crystal discharge. Nothing. Yellow crystal. Oh, your
I
sound
don't
so.
think it's a crystal. It's not going to be a.
Do you have
No,
something
no.
sharp you can stab them?
No, I just looked at
No.
a page on this level that didn't even mention that monster being there.
Oh,
Nothing
he
with
says
the
the
orange
only way to
crystal.
get rid of the chameleons is to deliberately set off the butthole mines. Turning off your torch does nothing.
Oh,
Ah, why are they faster? We got popcorn.
Oh, Cyborg says the spiders are the blue bug thing. We haven't seen those in a while. We were talking about the frogs.
Wow, I need a drink after that. So that, so yeah, that
Get
that
me
red
out of
robe.
here.
Does that speed up time?
Yes, it does.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
That is actually important for later.
You can die that
Okay.
much quicker. Vikings like LOL, sure they hate wristwatches. Yeah, that'll work. He says, do you want to know the secret? You need to drop your map.
no, that's a troll. That's
Ow.
I know.
true.
I know,
There.
but still,
Ah,
that's the equivalent of Alt F4 to
die.
escape.
No, no,
Die.
no. See, what you wanted to do is not over that until they started attacking me.
Right.
The teal
Oh,
instrument.
all right. So we're trying to lure them into a mine explosion.
Yeah, well, you use the mine explosions to clean the lizards off of you.
Okay.
Billy says, "Yeah. The king's robe helps
Well,
a
it
lot
seems to
too."
be working, but my God, it hurts like the. Oh,
Owie. Can you replenish your health?
I
Not
do have.
here.
Not
Well,
by
I do
walking
have a-
over a mine. You can't.
No, I mean, do we have any materials that will?
We do have a potion, and I do believe.
Well,
we
that's
do
what I
have
mean.
One
Okay.
potion that can heal us, but I mean, it sounds like a waste even here.
And according
Well,
to the
Yeah.
game, that's
Can
a
we-
violet pod.
Well, here's my question: can we replicate them before we use them so we can have infinite of them?
I don't know.
Okay,
And woke
see
up this
that.
morning. And
Oh God,
chose
these
violet.
guys again.
No! Get away! Get away! Get away! Get away!
No, you can't deal with those guys yet.
Okay.
Wow, that's a
It's like-
trajectory.
It's like, hey, buddy, do you realize that there are a lot of imaginary creatures trying to kill me around here? Why are you just standing there? I need your help, buddy. You're
Okay,
still
Lion says
alive.
there appear to be set trigger
You're
points
not.
for the reptiles.
I am
Ultra
out of
bullets.
ammo.
Yep.
Leah, I thought you said I had enough.
Yeah, for a bit, and then when you get low, to switch it out.
She lied.
That doesn't help.
No.
Okay. Try this. Let's see.
Yeah, so take the grenades out and go back to duping some ammo.
All right.
I'm just wondering if there's health packs, potions, or any other recovery items that we could replicate.
They're
we might want to
very
make a lot of them.
they're limited. I don't. I
No.
maybe does it dupe them? Does it dupe potions?
No, just as ammo.
Wow, do they have to be like directly on the screen when you detonate them? Because that timing's got to be weird.
No.
Because like standing in front of the mine waiting for one to cross your screen just seems like a recipe to get
But
killed.
standing around is not going to help you.
No, not at all. That
It's
was my
certainly
fear.
Just jinking back and forth.
Well, gosh
This is one
darn
of
it.
those.
I'm trying to figure out how these things work.
It's kind of like
And
an accumulation over time thing,
Because I don't want to waste these mines when they start coming on to me.
right?
Ah.
Which is why you need to like basically kind of speed run the level.
Damn, Jill, you
Oh,
like
well.
slamming that key or you like got a macro running or something? Because that was almost rapid fire there.
It's pretty much, but no, okay. Kaboom. Ah!
See, there you go.
Your monk seems to be shorting out.
That can happen.
Sapphire taken. Excuse me.
There you
Ah, mine, beautiful little seashell colored, whatever the heck it is.
Those are the butthole mines. Remember,
And-
short control bursts.
There's one. Wait.
Did you get it?
I need to rest. I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
die here. I don't know if I can rest in this level.
You're also not replicating anything at the moment.
Yeah, the box is empty.
He's replicating bodies.
I don't think resting is a good idea on the level that causes you to accumulate damage over time.
What the devil do I do then? I'm run low on health and I had no way out except for those buggers that are blocking the way with the yellow shields that you said I can't kill with a green crystal.
Leah.
Without the green crystal. You need the green crystal to kill them.
I know. Where do I get the green
Leah,
crystal?
do you want to take the helm?
I think that might be a good idea at some
Okay.
point.
Do we want to
but
do it this time, or do we want to start next time with you in the driver's seat?
I think next time.
Okay, so why
Yeah.
don't we do that? So,
Because
Jail,
we've been going
we'll,
for a while.
we'll see whatever we can accomplish today, but then maybe let's hand the save file off, and we'll take advantage of Leah's superior knowledge of pathways.
It has been an honor and a privilege to get this far.
No,
'cause I have
you've
never
been playing
even touched
phenomenal,
this.
Jill. We should all thank your expertise and experience with it. It's been very, very
Absolutely.
well received. So thank you
It's-
kindly. Little round of
No
applause.
problem.
I'm out of ammo.
Yep.
There we go. But man, I had no idea how wicked this game would get.
that's
See,
funny.
Oh, I did.
we all
It's
did.
wicked,
Which is
wicked.
why I bowed out when I did. because
This is way
I said,
farther
game
than I
is-
expected us to get
Yeah.
through, to tell you the
this
truth.
is-
So
this-
yeah,
this game is known to be hard.
Yes.
It
for a
is
reason.
interesting to like watch you try and go through this without like knowing.
the stuff you know, yeah, it
Yeah,
gives you that
that's-
first player experience. You know, I mean,
Right,
because
right.
we're from the 20, 30-year-old. We know everything. We've seen every guide. We've played it a billion times, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And
But,
also, games
Oh, yeah.
games aren't supposed to be this opaque anymore. Like nobody puts
Right.
up with a
No.
game that won't tell you how to play it.
Right. There's no
people
waypoints.
People complain that tutorials are too boring and won't let you skip them, but like every bit of every game's design has to communicate the objectives to you and teach you how the gameplay works.
Oh,
and just being
not just
like
the
"Here,
mechanics.
try
Yeah.
10 different things that don't work and die
Yeah.
a bunch of times and start over because
The-
that is the replayability part.
Right. The
don't
objectives
put
as
up
well
with
as
that.
the mechanics. They need orientation for these things. Otherwise, people get frustrated and give up instantly.
Yeah. The version of
It's
this
interesting
now
how
is
that's developed
roguelikes.
over time, though, because like
Yeah.
that's like part of like the culture of how games are put out there now.
Yeah. Well, it's a
But I've
product of
seen
its
some
time.
Interesting, I've seen some interesting videos on YouTube where they take someone who doesn't play games and they make them play the game, and the person who's never played games before has no idea what all these tutorials are about.
Yep.
And they would actually probably do better in a game like this that doesn't require the hand holding
Mm-hmm.
because they're not used to having that on the screen.
Maybe,
for
but
them.
they would also likely end up spinning their wheels anticipating mechanics that don't exist and assuming that there
Yeah.
are actions you can take that the designers have not.
Oh, that's part of the fun.
You know, these are
For
these
you,
are very
yes. You're not the
very limited.
demographic. See, that's the thing. We're of an era where that kind of challenge was interesting to us. You know, people that would pull out graph paper and map out things to the n
I
billionth
used to do that
degree.
with Marathon too.
See? We love that kind of stuff. I still remember one that I made for Obidus that literally covered our bedroom floor. It was so huge.
Yep.
So, trying
So,
to take notes on the puzzles in Riven.
mm-hmm. So, yeah. But that unfortunately is not the market now.
I don't think that's an era thing. I think that's just like a culture and personality thing.
No,
where it's like,
I think it's a
games are
product of its
catering to a
time.
certain-
It's a generational thing. It was because there were so many other games that were like it, and they were all experimenting in their own different ways. But there were still a bunch of them that all had very, very similar styles, mechanics, themes, and expectations. People wanted a certain level of challenging, and some wanted more, some wanted less. But there was still
Well,
a
could it-
certain bar that is no longer the bar anymore.
could it be that it's not necessarily that people are different now, but that games that have that lower bar sell better?
Oh, I'm absolutely sure that there's a correlation between the two. I have no doubt of that whatsoever. But that's the point I'm making, is that that's no longer the market standard. Trust me, Destiny would have been way more harder if there weren't waypoints. If people weren't speed running to the same stuff.
You know,
if they
I
were
don't-
running around everywhere trying to figure things out.
But how
Where
long
there
would
weren't
that have
explanations.
But how long would that have lasted? You know what I'm saying? Like that would have lasted just long enough for people to know where it is you had to go, and then the speed run would be back on. Like it would
Right.
not have mattered long term.
But the number one complaint that new players have with the current Destiny, the one that's been vaulted, eliminated, hackneyed, chopped up incessantly, is that the first time player experience, once you get through a certain first part, the game says, have fun, and people don't know what to do. They literally are walking around, what do I do now?
Which explains the massive competition inside the game of all these different tabs and interfaces screaming at you about what you should do next. Like
Right.
the problem right now isn't that the game doesn't tell you, is that it's trying to tell you everything at once.
I think the linear quality, the theme and story based type ones, they've given rise to people like, hey, make your own story, do it at your own pace, go where you want, when you want, kind of thing. And that flexibility, that a lot of people, say is more immersive, it's more unique, it's individual, it's more popular with yada yada yada.
I think it's more immersive and works better for a certain type of person. I think just that
Yes. And I think there's more of those people today than there were back in the day, where it was far more straightforward. It was a lot more story based. The color and the expectations of what you were doing within the game fit within certain technical limitations that they could not get around, and they made clever workarounds to make things cool and imaginative and neat because they had to, not because they chose to. Do you know what I mean? And
or maybe just because because it's more common for people to have computers and play games now that you have a wider set of the population who's playing.
Right, but
games.
I think the expectation is also more of, hey, I want to sit here and have fun, not sit here and figure out 57 puzzles. You know what I mean?
I'll take your word for it.
I'm just saying that the market has shifted in styles of a lot of gameplay, and there's not a lot of these anymore.
I think
the market has shifted. I don't think people have shifted. I think that's where the
that's true. And people just say we're just giving people what they want. I mean, they're lying. You're selling what you're able to make. And when you're successful in doing that, you claim that's what the market was asking for. But those aren't the same.
It's like bench seats.
I think part of it basically is that once you look at the ramp up in production value that came, like starting from the Xbox on the way up, right? Going from 480p to 720p to 1080p, and now to 2K, 4K, and beyond. It takes so much labor to create all those assets. And games got bigger and games got longer. And ultimately it became a problem when they got the metrics back that showed that people weren't finishing games. I think that was not viewed as a problem. That people didn't make it to the end of a game wasn't viewed as a problem until it took so much money and time to make an entire game that you would want to make it smaller, because what was the point in making content people weren't going to see?
Never going to see, right, exactly.
So then once you've justified, you figured out how much content you're going to make, then the problem becomes, how do we make sure that people see all the content we've made? Because otherwise we can't justify making it. So that's where your quest markers, your waypoints, your compasses, your tutorials, like all the stuff Bungie talked about as well, that they had their user experience labs, and they talked about people getting lost and how they changed their level design from Marathon to Halo and Destiny, where everything clearly signposts what direction you're supposed to go, because they were actively avoiding people getting lost. The thing that Marathon throws at you, which is here's a disorienting labyrinth. Like, there's none of that in most of the other Bungie games. When they do, it's a feature of a specific area, which they did like in one Destiny 1 raid. Right,
because these games are being created like basically just for money at this point. They're not as much works of art.
Well, I think people will allow things to be works of art when they're cheap to make. I think once they cost as much as games make now, they're commercial products first, their artistic expression after. And I mean, again,
the art's a byproduct, not the goal.
Like I would say, that's why the Destiny raid, race to first completion is now such a marketing exercise. Because if it wasn't a marketing exercise to promote the game, they wouldn't be able to justify making it, because most players don't do them. But if you make a big deal out of the top players competing with each other to finish them, then it's a promotion tool for your game. And now it's justified to make them. And they like making them and playing them. And the top, the slice of players that are very competitive and very interested in that sort of competition like it. But, like we did all the Destiny 1 raids and barely any Destiny 2 raids. Hardly any. Just never did them.
I can't get into MMOs myself.
Once Callus came out, and I remember sitting around in a room with a bunch of randos getting the 50th explanation of nobody listening, and I was like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm out. And I don't think I've done a raid since.
Yeah.
So,
But they were very open at one point about basically saying that, like, yes, our own analyses show us that, like, only a certain percentage of people get through
even
this.
do these.
They did end up maximizing it basically so that the raised difficulty were balanced so that most people who started them finished them instead of giving up. And
Right.
that's why the world's first races have gotten, generally speaking, shorter
Right.
and shorter and shorter,
But
with
then
a
it
few
became-
variations based on what kind of puzzles they put in them that sometimes,
Yeah,
cause more
and-
trouble than they anticipated. But
Have you seen the puzzles now? They are absolutely insane, and how people figure these things out. It literally takes days. And
I like how Funk's putting it.
Hmm?
I like how Funk's putting it. He says, I think the baseline set of dudes who like banging their heads against the wall are still there. But games can now get busy adults who have shit going on in their lives because you can jump in with no effort.
well, exactly.
Yes.
That's my point.
Yes.
The market
And-
has shifted.
yes, and the Elder Scrolls comparison is good. You look at Morrowind. Morrowind gives you a map, and it will put like city names on your map. But when an NPC tells you to go to a place that you haven't been to before, they give a description and landmark, and basically tell you, go a certain distance about that in such and such a direction, or go to a place that is southwest of something. And there's no quest marker, and it doesn't necessarily put that thing on your map. In fact, actually, that's why I haven't finished Morrowind, because I came to a bit where I went to a camp where they told me to go to an ancestral tomb and find somebody's like dead ancestor's sword and bring it back. And the weather in the area happened to be sandstorms, and it was night, and I could not find the location. And I kind of, like, after a bunch of times getting killed by things in the sandstorm, I put it down and said I'll come back to it, and never did. And I think then I transferred from the Xbox to the Xbox 360, and I lost my save, so I would have had to start over and blah blah blah. So I never finished it. But then they go on from there to Oblivion and Skyrim, and like what used to just be a generic tick, like in Fallout 3, if you're near a location that is important, your compass will show a little triangle, a little hollow triangle that says there's something over there, but it doesn't tell you what. And later on, they added icons. So Fallout 4 and Skyrim have icons that tell you what category of point of interest that is. That's an orc camp. That's a town. That's a stable. That's a dungeon. So that you can intelligently decide before you've bothered to walk over a hill to see something where it is. But when you combine those two things, now you know what everything is. Even when it's behind a hill you can't see over, you know there's an orc camp over there. And if you don't want that experience, then you don't go look and you don't have it because you got stuff to do. And if you're on a quest, the quest marker tells you exactly where you walk there, you do the most obvious interaction with that place once you've arrived there. You've now done your game thing and you go down your checklist to the next thing.
As opposed to trying to get 6 people's schedules to hang out for 12 hours to do something massively repetitive.
Yep.
Not to mention
gosh,
your
yeah.
progression and quality of rewards is all based on the performance of your teammates. So therefore,
Oh, yeah.
if your
Like,
people are not the greatest,
I'm not saying the kind of opaque discoverability that Pathways has or that Morrowind has should be applied to an online multiplayer game like this.
oh no, not at all. But I'm just saying the style and the type. This is a single user player experience where you are responsible
In fact,
for your
if
enjoyment.
you've seen the marathon alpha footage, right? That has additional features in it right now where
Yes.
you can be a player looking at a point of interest in the game, a place, a player, an item or something, and you can ping that so that your teammates now have a waypoint on their HUDs that point to that thing. So this kind of thing that people always used to complain about in Destiny and Halo, right? Teams concentrating fire, like the game is built to tell
Built
you
on-
how
yeah, I
to
know.
do that.
Oh,
You
please.
mark a
You know me-
target, and now everybody knows. Just line your reticle up with the, with the ping and fire.
You know me, getting coordinated team interaction and combat was always something that I enjoyed and talked about immensely.
Right.
I mean,
And there's a lot
my
of people
favorite-
literally considered cheating. They
Yeah,
called it
well, here's the-
cheating.
Oh, please! They call it a team shooting, where everybody just gangs up on everybody else. It's like, yeah, that's how armies work. The best game I ever had in Halo 2 was 41-0 because Sniper 058 was covering my ass. We went as a team of 2, and ended up wiping everybody on the team. 41-0, best game ever. Couldn't have done it without him.
Yep.
If I was by myself, I would have died 5 times before that score. So yeah, it's funny how that kind of tactical coordination is frowned upon with certain groups because they think it's unfair. It's weird. It really, really is. But anyway, so okay, so when have we picked a scheduled date to continue on this exciting adventure with Leah?
Let's take a look.
Don't know what your schedule's out. Hopefully I can get my cameras sorted by then. It seems to be kicking out for some reason.
There we go.
Okay, so the
Periodically.
plan would be to try to play this again on the 24th.
Woohoo!
All right.
I'd like to thank all the chat people coming out of the waterwork. My God, you guys are awesome.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
not expecting this many people
I wish
today.
you got more time to get to your comments.
Yeah. Oh, please. I've been trying to read it, but it's impossible. This is the most text has been blowing up in a long time. So
Mhm.
thanks for that, chat. You're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't get to you, I apologize. I was trying to keep up, but Jeebus.
Yep. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna try. Plan is to come back with this more on the 24th. I'm not supposed to be working then. We'll see if that holds up.
Okie dokie. Catch everybody then.
Yep.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, my end button is gone. Okay.
My God.